In an ancient time, when a terrible evil threatens the land, only one man can save the world.
Say what? Get out of here.
What? What's the meaning of this?
Oh, let's take off that broken record.
I say.
Here, hold my earrings while I take this monster down. I've got your back, darling. We just might burn down this town. Oh no, oh yeah. When you're up against a challenge and you need a helping hand, we've got an arsenal of fireballs, steel stilettos, and a catch. Oh yeah.
Hi, my name is Al, and I am the DM for Here Hold My Earrings. And today we have Henrietta, Yvonne, and Maddie. Henrietta?
Hi, I'm Henriette. I'm from Norway, and I play a Kalashtar druid named Dalin.
Excellent. Yvonne?
I'm Yvonne, and I'm from Canada, and I play a half-orc barbarian. Is that it?
Any particular name?
Oh, sorry, my name's Cracker.
It's okay. I mean,
No, in real life. Yeah, my name's
You do-
Cracker in real life, and in the game,
Yeah.
my name's Yvonne. There we go.
Yeah.
Too early.
I mean, you don't have to give your name out if you want to be. If you feel like you'd like to be mysterious, we can
Yeah,
just all
I am
guess at
being
it.
mysterious. I don't know you well enough.
Cracker.
Yeah, exactly.
And yes, and Maddie, please.
Hello, I'm Maddie. I'm from the United States, and I play Satina Fizzle, a dwarven wizard.
Right, a trans dwarven wizard, actually.
Yes, originally I was a gnome.
It's more like transracial.
Transracial.
Yeah, but I mean, it's implied, right?
hmm
I mean, even if it
it's
isn't
like-
implied.
Yeah, it took me a second. I was like, trans dwarven? Oh, there we go. Took a second.
All right, so yeah, we've got. Who wants to give us the quick rundown on how we ended up where we are? Don't all clamor at once.
Okay, I'll go. I actually
Okay.
had my notes, and I had I had a sentence more.
That's
So
very impressive. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Okay, so we were on a raft in the River of Forgetfulness, and we threw a whole load of cart in the river before, I guess, which I wasn't present for, so I don't really understand that part. But Cud wants it for tea. Dallin keeps him from going in, and then the blood sort of peters out, and the less of the river he sees. We lose control of the boat. We take a long rest. I'm looking out for danger. We pass some crystals that discombobulate us, but then it turns out to be glowing fungi. Then someone said crystals, and I wasn't sure what we were doing. I was discombobulated. Satina wants to gather them, and spider silk hangs from the ceiling. The raft goes over the river. The raft is going to go over a cliff because we can hear the water coming. And we all are trying to work out how to get out of there. Some weird spider crabs that grapple Satina and Cracker. And Dallin gets attacked by a weird giant centipede. And she gets poisoned and is unconscious.
Paralyzed.
Cud goes over the vault. Sorry, what?
Paralyzed.
Yeah.
I could see everything that was happening. I was just paralyzed. Couldn't do anything.
Paralyzed. Right.
That is arguably worse.
Yeah.
I think it's way worse. For you.
Yeah.
Cud goes over the waterfall with the worm, and he sacrifices his life, and we all almost die. And then everyone pulls out some major moves to save Satina. It's going well. And then I wrote, there's only 4 of us, down to 3 each week. Don't forget to offer the help action. There we go. The end.
Very, very immersive. I really felt like I was in the moment,
Yeah.
like reliving every single action. That was so moving. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
And
a bit like, that was the BBC presenters version.
Yeah, totally. And then
And we
this
did take
happened,
a
yeah,
long
and they're all
rest.
dead. Oh yeah.
Sorry, who's dead?
No. It's just the way I'm saying it. Like it's just, and then this
Oh,
happened.
right.
This person's dead. That poor cud. Goodbye, and we're out.
Yeah. And that's the news. Good night. Oh dear. It's true. It's true. Cool. And you guys decided, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, to take a long rest.
hmm
Uh-huh. And you guys have leveled up for those of you who needed to do so.
Boop, boop.
Boop boop. Now, just between us girls, I'm going to keep leveling a little bit slower for the two of you, especially because I kind of want everybody else to catch up a little bit. And one of the problems we had with Joe's character being level 8 was, whenever she was out, it was like a massive, like 30-40% swing in power, even though she was only 1/4 or 1/5 of the group, right? So it made a huge difference. But there's a lot of stuff that you guys might be able to find if you're smart enough. So all the anybody who's thinking, boy, I've got like a +5 Holy Avenger, Staff of Power, and 4 Rings of Protection in my other campaign, and I've got like a stingy +1 dagger in this one.
And a
You
shovel.
might find, and a shovel. Yeah. Well, the shovel's important. If you look hard enough, you might just find something that's kind of valuable. But I'll leave it to you guys to figure it out. You guys have to earn it, right?
Could, by chance, the little doodad guys, the little scorpion spider things, is there a way that we could extract the venom that caused us to be paralyzed? Or did they just
Ooh.
grapple us?
Oh,
So this is the next question. So just to be clear, we are talking about the ones with the tentacle mouths, or the ones who shoot out the sticky webbing type stuff? It's more like a gecko with like a long tongue type of thing.
The gross guys that came from the ceiling.
They're all gross.
You're fair. That's fair.
Subjectively. All right, let me recreate the token so we can all see what.
Oh, that guy? Oh, he
Yeah.
was the paralyzed guy, but he went
Yeah.
over the waterfall.
Yes. Yeah. So there's this
Okay.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
they're
the guy
ones
that I
who
was
have-
talking about.
Okay, right. Yeah. So that's, you can attack without giving too much detail. It is possible to cut what they shoot out at you. Whether or not it disintegrates over time and how long that takes, you won't know until you try, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, if you would like to try to cut, so you're trying to cut off what part? The sticky bit that comes out of their mouth?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So probably survival if you want to try to cut a bit of it's basically it's a filament essentially.
I'm gonna
Okay.
help her. So I'm gonna just hold the mouth open so she can.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Excellent. Really getting in there.
Mhm.
All right. He's gonna do a little stretch. And because she's
Okay.
helping me, I roll with advantage, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. 16.
Very nice. Yeah. So you managed to extract about first of all, the filament that shoots out can extend quite a long distance. Some of these things attack you from the ceiling, and you can with dark vision, Satina can see, or Cracker can see, that the ceiling is close to 40-50 feet above the uneven surface where you're standing, and they were on the ceiling when they did that. So how much of the filament would you like to try to extract?
I think probably about that same range, so about 40 feet.
40 feet of filament. Okay, so it's very long.
Good
It's
amount.
like a coil of rope, basically, right?
Oh, okay.
Do you see what I mean? And it's very
Yeah.
sticky. So it doesn't have any paralyzing agent. That was the other
Mhm.
thing. But it is basically like trying to collect chewed gum.
Oh, yucky.
Yeah, so you're sticking to it as you're doing it. You're sticking to it. It's sticking to you. Everything it touches, it drags. It picks up loose pebbles and rocks,
Mhm.
detritus from the ground. It's sticking to all your clothes. It's kind of entangling you. So you're actually becoming grappled by this thing.
Could I like wrap it around the handle of my hammer? That way I could do like a cool like chapow with the hammer with the sticky end.
So the whole thing is sticky.
Yeah.
So you can definitely wrap it around the handle of your hammer, but in the
Mhm.
process, you'll literally be, the rest of you are watching as Satina is successful in cutting it, but then as she tries to roll it up, she's literally just getting tied up in this thing, and like her hair is stuck to it. It's like across her face. It's pulling out an eyebrow as she tries to extract it from herself. Some
Gonna look at
beard
everybody and
hairs
be
are
like,
getting stuck in there.
this is not going how I planned. I thought this would be cool.
It's like pulled up. It's like pulling a part of your robe in one area, like your shoes is stuck to it. It's like it's just a complete mess. But you do have a bunch of it, so if you want to try to walk with it and tackle one option would be to cover all of the bits of it that you aren't trying to keep sticky
Mhm.
with the dirt and the dust, so that it'll still be sticky, but it'll be much more manageable. That'll
Okay,
take
yeah.
probably about an hour to roll 40 or 50 feet of it back and forth. Well, maybe not an hour. Like let's call it half an hour to roll
Okay.
it effectively, and then it'll probably add. I would have said normally this thing doesn't weigh that much, but with all the dirt, you're basically going to lug around on 40 feet of tubular surface. You're probably carrying an extra 20 pounds.
Okay.
So if you have the carrying capacity to do that, you can do it. And then it'll be sticky at the end of it, which, how would you like to store that? Would you like to store it dangling on the back of your backpack? So there will be a
Mhm.
little bit of environmental risk if you bump into something, you back into something, there's a slight chance you might end up sticking to it, or it'll stick to something and come off your backpack and take your backpack with it. It's really sticky, right? Like remember you guys were trying to break free of it and you were failing to do so. So
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I just want to hang it on the back of my backpack.
Okay.
That way if we need it, we have it.
Sure. Cool. Great idea. Yeah.
And
it's
I'd
very
like to cast mage armor.
Make a sentence with the words door, barn, horse, flea.
I went through the
Close.
door of the barn and found a horse that had a flea.
No.
The flea was wearing clothes and
No.
they didn't fit him very well.
That's not what I meant, but that's even funnier,
Oh.
actually. Like, as in, you're casting mage armor now that the combat's over.
Oh. See, this is me preparing because I forgot about it.
Exactly.
So we haven't
That's
taken a long rest yet. This is before a long rest, right?
This was after your long rest. Didn't
This
you
is
guys already take it?
after, yeah.
Okay, so we had the long rest, and now
Mhm.
we're getting ready to head off, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now, just to be clear, are you routinely using one spell slot to cast Goodberry if you have it
I
at the
am.
end of the day?
I am now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's one level. It's a first level spell slot. It's a cheap way
Yep.
to keep people from actually dying, at least. So,
So-
but it's your character. You can do whatever you want. If you choose not to do that, that's perfectly fine.
No, it's fine. Satina, do you have Salazar out? You don't, do you?
I can bring him out on the way. I mean, it's a ritual spell.
I was just
Wherever
thinking
we're going.
about putting a couple of good berries in his pouch.
That's a good
Good
idea.
thinking.
Yeah, I'll bring him out.
That's a great idea, especially since you guys specifically spent money to buy the
yes.
bespoke made outfits for them.
And he looks fantastic.
And he does. I was just going to say that he looks absolutely fabulous.
Okay. Oh, and sorry, I just wanted to say that I'm going to bring a slice of my mage armor and make my hula hoop and just walk around with my hula hoop on.
As you
The
should.
Arcane Ward.
Absolutely. Sounds terrific. Okay, cool. Now, as you guys are getting ready to go, let's have a quick perception roll, s'il vous plaît.
Of course.
Well, you're in a hostile place, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
sure. Oh,
you've already been
Hopefully, we're
attacked.
looking around.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'm not.
No, no, no guarantees. I'm not. I don't care.
No.
Yeah.
Underground.
I only
Underdark.
have the highest perception in the
Yep.
party, but you know, it's like
You think Dallon's still trying to get the purple off of her hands?
Maybe.
I don't know. How does Dallin even bother? Like maybe does Dallin actually kind of like it? It's like growing on her.
I can see it myself, so I don't care.
Yeah, it's like
Why do I?
doesn't affect me at all.
No. I just imagine that Cracker and Satina are kind of want to try and rub it off, but kind of catch themselves not doing it. Kind of, oh God, I want to try and rub that off. And I'm just happy as the day can be.
Well, it's that's yeah. I mean, you know, your alignment is sort of evilish now, so you're kind of being a little bit selfish, which is, you know, that's kind of. I mean, you've got one party member who doesn't bathe, right? So why?
I don't know what you're worried about.
Yeah. I should care.
Now, does Cracker like justify that by saying somehow it's helping the party because it attracts all the flies and keeps the pests away from the rest of them?
Yeah, they're not on me now. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
There ain't no flies on me.
Okay, so as you are, what was the highest perception roll?
16.
17.
17. That's pretty good. Okay, as you are about to head out, you hear what sounds like some sobbing, sort of hoarse and a little bit high pitched. I mean, you don't necessarily know what it is, but you also hear, what languages does everybody speak?
Common,
Just like
Elvish,
common orc.
and Kuri. That's the Kalashtar language. So.
Wow, that sounds even better when you say it with a Norwegian accent.
Mhm.
Kuri.
Gnomish, Dwarvish, and Sylvian in common, obviously.
Common and orc.
So none of you recognize the exact words.
I do have Abyssal and Sylvan as well. I forgot that I had from my background.
Right. Okay, cool. Make sure you add that to both sides of the sheet just so I can see it. And Satina actually speaks Dwarvish, even though she was originally a gnome. So she kind of became a dwarf and forgot all her gnomish and then learned Dwarvish overnight automatically, just as part of her reincarnation. So Satina recognizes it. It sounds like a different dialect than she's ever heard. But it is definitely a kind of very guttural sounding Dwarvish. And as she's listening to it, you know, she can recognize that it's the sound of a child or a very young person, and they're kind of saying something along the lines of, "Oh, come back to me. Where are you? How could you leave me like this?"
Do we know where it's coming from?
Yeah, does Satina tell everybody else
Oh,
what
absolutely.
she's
Be like,
heard?
yo,
Okay.
do you guys hear that?
Yo.
I'll hear
Sounds like a
something, but I don't
kid.
know what. That's a kid?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little guttural, but like, and it's hard to hear it, but like, yeah.
Yeah. So you can pinpoint it. It sounds like it's actually coming from the other side of the river, a bit farther down. It's a little bit hard to tell with the echoes, although as a dwarf, your innate senses are pretty good underground, even though you weren't trained for it. You think it's probably around a bend, as you know, this is like a natural cavern and underground river area, right? It's very clear that while there are lots of stalactites and stalagmites suggesting that this particular cabin hasn't been terribly disturbed, there are also very clearly water pathways, which indicate that at some point the water level was much higher. And it looks a bit as if some combination of geological disturbance combined with water-related erosion created other natural forming tunnels that branch off of this this sort of river that goes over the waterfall, right? That Cud fell down. And one of the branches is the one where you hear this sort of tinny, echoing, sobbing sound.
So we need to get back over the river.
Yeah, you need
To
to
the
cross
other
the
side?
river. Yeah.
Ugh.
Is
Sick.
it still? Do we still see any evidence of the blood in the river? Kind of the reddish.
Uh-huh.
that
Yeah.
all?
So yeah, it definitely peters out, but there are traces of it. Because, you know, it's part of the reason why you don't see it as clearly is because the water itself is frothing and churning as it gets closer to the edge, and it seems to be accelerating. So whether or not there are traces in it, you're not 100% sure. But you can see that it's still sort of pinkish, not very far away from where you are, right? So
Yeah.
Um,
Should we test with Violet?
I could.
Kind of just.
I mean, I can cast floating disc, and then we can like move across or throw a rope or something. Try to catch one of the stalagmites to pull our stuff across.
I did prepare water walk, but that if we lose our memory walking on the water, it's not kind of worth it.
you'll be just sort of randomly wandering around.
Mm-hmm.
It takes an hour for me to cast it. It's ritual. So it's up to you.
That gives me time. That gives me time to try and throw a rope across.
Yeah.
And
You'll
I'm just
get it
looking at
after an hour. Yeah, I believe in you.
my-
You
I
can
would
do
hope
it.
so. I hope so. Well, and I'm trying to see. I don't have a. Does anyone have those pythons, or what do you call it?
Piton?
You know the thing with the hook, piton.
Yeah, it's French. Yeah.
Avez-vous un piton?
I don't know. Does anybody have a piton? If you have
I have a hammer.
pitons, it should be in your equipment because you purchased it alongside some rope and hammer and other things.
Mm,
And if you don't,
Nope,
I don't
nope.
think I do.
I have a hammer.
You have a hammer. I have
il
Do
n'y
you have any
a
rope?
pas de piton.
pas de piton. Wait. I've got an iron pot. I could tie that to the end and whip it across.
Ooh, that's clever.
I do have a headband, a torque that belonged to Ironhammer.
Ooh.
So we can kind of, when you toss a ring and you kind of try to get it on to the
Yeah.
stick. You can
Yeah.
try that.
Maddie's
Yeah.
from the South. She ought to know how to play horseshoes.
Horseshoe.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yes, I do know how to play horseshoes. I prefer cornhole, but you know what? It's same principle.
Cornhole, that's what it's
Oh
called.
my
I couldn't remember what it was called.
You could also call it bags. That also.
Yeah. Somehow they both sound a bit rude. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Um,
No, cornhole's definitely rude and awesomely funny.
I don't
How's
even
your
know where
game
that
of
game came from.
cornhole?
Or not the
It's
game,
like-
the name.
it definitely sounds like something Beavis and Butthead would play.
Yeah, totally.
And try to throw the corn in the hole. But it's not even like the bags are filled with corn. They're just filled with like beans.
I think the cornhole refers to the hole.
But it's not even like the size of corn.
I can't do it.
I'm gonna look up the origins later.
I can't.
It's getting worse and worse.
I
Keep going, Maddie.
I can't. Do I
It
hope
bothers me
somebody
where
hear-
the name came from.
I hope somebody listens to this recording because they will be absolutely rolling on the floor listening to you like you're so naive and innocent. It's hilarious.
Wait, what?
We're having a scientific discussion about cornholes. This is great.
What is
The
the
etymology of
Goog-
cornhole.
Googling
Yeah.
etymology of? I was literally going to say that etymology of. Oh, that's what it means.
No, am I gonna get my day ruined? Hold on.
She's gonna do it.
I'm
Actually,
doing it.
not so much etymology, but just casual use of the word cornhole.
Yeah, because why
Well,
not?
at least we weren't teabagging at the same time.
Oh no.
He's looking it up. My God. This is... Okay. In the meantime, shall we just?
In the meantime, yeah.
All right. Make sure, Maddie, you don't mute yourself because I want to hear the gasp of oh no. Is that what that is?
In the world.
All right.
Illinoisans.
So
Hate
you
that.
hear the sound, and you guys are. So one of you is trying to throw something across the river with a rope with a weight on it, essentially to try to kind of lasso or bolo a stalagmite, presumably, or maybe a stalactite. I don't know, depending on what you're trying to do.
Well, I'm trying
Is
to
that
aim between two of them so that the pot, if we pull on the rope, the pot just kind of sits in behind the two
Oh, right.
stalactites.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. So, right. Okay. So, basically a grappling hook.
Yeah.
But without the hook, without the hooky bit.
Without the
Okay.
hooky bit.
Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. Definitely give us a roll. What kind of roll do you think that is, Yvonne?
Oh, I think that's athletics. Because it's like, what do you call that?
Mhm.
Kind of like shot put. Yeah.
Mm,
I'm gonna
Yeah,
give you
okay.
guidance. So a D4.
nice. Awesome.
So an athletics roll?
Sure. Yeah. Let's have an athletics roll with guidance. You can roll your guidance bit.
Ooh. With a D4, that's awesome.
What'd you get?
That's a really good roll.
25.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so good that you literally actually, instead of getting it in between two stalagmites, you actually land the pot upside down on top of a stalagmite, and it just sits like a cap on top of a very sturdy looking pillar of limestone. If you were at a Carney game, you'd probably be winning a big stuffed teddy bear.
Fantastic.
Horseshoes. I got to take up horseshoes. This was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm casting floating disc. I've been doing that while she's been throwing
Cool.
her pot.
Yeah. So she'll be done with throwing the pot since it really only just takes sort of one action. But she'll be done with that long before your floating disc is ready. But you can also wait until. So once the rope is ready, is Cracker doing anything else, or is that it?
No, I've got the rope in my hand and I'm just like sitting down, wondering how I'm going to make tea now that my pot's on the other side of the river.
Who was it who taught Cud the secrets of brewing tea? Was it Dallin or?
I think it was me and Satina.
Yeah, I think
Right.
I think it was a joint effort.
Yeah.
A joint effort. Awesome. We like joint efforts. Yeah, cool. So what do you want to do at this stage? You've got your spell up and running.
It's good to go.
Yeah. It's been 10
Word.
minutes. The sobbing continues. But since nothing else is going on, you guys are just sort of waiting for this thing to complete. It'll eventually complete, right?
Mm, I guess we should probably get across the river, right, guys?
All right.
All right, all aboard.
Okay.
All aboard.
So
Sorry.
go ahead. Feel free to. Would you like to? I'm very happy to. Let's. I think show of hands. Who here? Virtual show of hands. Who here wants to hear Henrietta continue?
Me.
Yeah, me. Hands up.
It was just kind of just
Yeah.
seeing Satina on top of the disc and just all aboard. Let's go. And we start dragging the floating disc over.
Magically has a captain's hat on.
Yep.
I'm gonna have minor illusion of Captain Hat.
Yeah.
Minor illusion of captain's hat. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's great.
That is awesome. Yeah, that's great. And because it doesn't move, because you're not an illusion school wizard. Once it appears on her head and she starts moving, it just stays where it was cast and it just hovers there. Like there's like the head just moves out underneath it and it just remains behind, like a reverse Mario Brothers game token.
Just
I think if the
imagine.
hat were sentient, it would be very sad to be left behind.
Yeah. I just imagine
yeah.
if we had a really stupid character that it would just, oh no, your hat, and just jump up.
My hat!
You forgot your hat! Just jump up. Oh.
That would be
Okay.
really funny.
That would be really funny. Okay, so you get across without problems. Are you just going to try to hunt down the source of the sound?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you do so. You eventually come around a corner. Sorry, were you saying
No,
something?
I would just. I can't see anything because I don't have dark vision, so I'm just gonna do a produce flame and hold it so that I can
Perfect.
see a little bit.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that there are going to be some limitations that we're going to have to realistically impose upon you and Laura's character because of your lack of dark vision, since the other races get dark vision in return for trading off on something else. So it's a little bit unfair if they don't get that advantage. And remember, dark vision is doesn't prevent you from having disadvantage in no light situations. It only gives you sort of normal eyesight in low light, what you would call low light situations. But yeah, so you guys managed to get across. You're chasing down the sound, basically, sort of hunting it down. Are you guys going in a particular order? Just sort of randomly walking, or are you trying to stealth up on it?
I was fully intending on just like walking up. Do you guys want to stealth? Do you want to like sneak? Because it seems a little distracted by crying. So
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, it's so noisy in this place
Yeah,
with the waterfall and
threw
stuff.
a pot over and kind of made a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And I'm holding a kind of burning flame. So then I have to.
And like we're under the impression that it's a child.
Yeah.
Because that's what Satina had said, that it sounded like a child. So like I don't think we're gonna be like nervous about finding a child.
Although I will mention that it seems really weird that there's a child in this horrible place.
True. So yeah, I think we're just gonna like try and find the source of the sound.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. It does seem a little bit weird, but apparently we're all good to go.
Mhm.
It'll
There's
be
a
fine.
child to rescue. See? There's good in there somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys walk down this sort of naturally occurring tunnel, um, and you eventually stumble upon a small humped shape. It's got some white hair. It's about the size of a dwarf, but a little bit smaller. Well, it's about the size of a dwarf child, but a little bit smaller. But it isn't. It doesn't look like a dwarf. That's any dwarf that Satina or Cracker or Delin have ever seen in their sort of general travels. First of all, the skin is a bit gray and bluish, because you've got produced flame, so you can see color clearly. And it looks like it's kind of dressed for potentially adventure in the Underdark. One sec. And it looks up as you approach and says, "Stop! What are you doing here in our grazing lands?"
Oh, sorry, we got lost. We're trying to find our way down. What are you Are you okay? We heard some sounds. You okay?
Oh. I've lost my herd, and my uncle's going to be very, very cross with me. And Stinky has disappeared as well.
Stinky?
Yes, Stinky. He helps me with the herd.
Okay, is it like sheep or like uh, other herd-like creatures? What does your herd look like?
Well, they're yay big and yay tall, and she spreads her hands out as far as possible, but they're really, not very. She's not very good at expressing the size. And then she looks at Cracker and says, "Much bigger than her. They're Rotha."
Whoa.
Rotha.
Yes. They make good barbecue if you're into that kind of thing.
I am.
You've never
Okay.
seen a Rotha?
Mm-mm.
We're not
You're
from
not
around
from
here.
I was just going to say that.
You know what? Great minds think alike. Okay, well, I wish that we could help you find your herd. But like we still don't really know what they look like, except being yay big and yay high and bigger than her.
Well, they're on 4 legs, and they've got horns, and they've got big shaggy fur coats.
Okay. Well, we came from upstream and we didn't see anything like that, I don't believe. Do you think maybe they're that way? And I'm going to point to where the tunnel continues because it looks like it continues.
Oh, could be. Some of them may have gone over the cliffs by the waterfall back there. We were grazing along the edge of the water, and well, Uncle always said to stay away from the big tributary because it has some weird magical property, and sometimes animals that get too close sort of become confused and then just wander off, and some of them fall over the cliffs and die. But Stinky was supposed to make sure they don't do that. And oh, Stinky, when I get my hands on you. And she shakes her little fist.
Is Stinky also a herdman guy? Like one of the same kind of creature? I forgot the name of it. It started with an R.
Dwarven isn't your first language, is it? He says.
Actually, no.
which is totally in keeping with your character because it's like you just you basically got like
I basically got all this knowledge of this new like. Well, actually,
you got
Dwarven was one of the languages that I learned in school, so I'm still like trying.
you got like a Rosetta Stone download of like the actual
Yes.
vocabulary, but you never actually practice using the grammar properly. So it's just
Mhm.
putting a bunch of nouns and verbs together in the wrong order.
Trying. It's like a very rough translation.
Yeah, it's like you talk funny, but Stinky works for my uncle, and he's supposed to help me, and he, I don't know where he went off to. He can be a little shifty sometimes. But no, he's nothing like me. He stinks. He stinks all the time.
Oh, we got one of those.
So I can't understand what's going on. So I'm just smiling nicely, looking around.
Yeah, but did Satina like kind of look at Cracker and then wriggle?
She threw a
you know,
thumb.
wriggle her nose at her or something? You know, like give her like
She
a
was like,
hand
"Oh, we
waving
got one of
gesture in front of her
those."
face.
With
I flex my arm. I flex. You know. Show.
And when you flex, is it like is it like the crab where your arms go down, or is it more like the Schwarzenegger where it goes up and your
Oh, no,
your
it's the
armpits are
Schwarzenegger.
exposed, right? So
Oh, yeah.
your armpits
It's
are
that.
exposed, and
Mhm.
then and so the little one goes, "Oh, I can smell it from here," and she waves her head in front of her face and definitely nods her head vigorously in agreement with you. So everybody else kind of understands that it's got something to do with Cracker's body odor.
So he's really
'Cause
strong,
Cracker-
hey?
Cracker's the only one that can't understand Dwarven, right? Because
Yeah.
Dallin can.
No, I can. So I'm
Oh,
just,
you can't?
Nope.
Okay, so this.
just nodding, smiling. Hello.
That's so funny. Oh
So I
my
guess
god.
as long as they're not talking about me, it's fine.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Well, maybe if we continue on, then maybe you'll come across them because if they're over the edge, I don't think you'll be able to get them back.
No,
And they don't look like they're around here.
They're definitely not all over the edge. I may have lost a couple, but I'm pretty sure some of them may have survived because they ran in different directions when those cave fishers dropped down and started attacking. They seem to have been
Yes.
drawn by something, and normally they leave our little groups alone, but something must have enticed them, and then they scared off the rest of the herd. They're a bit skittish that way, big dumb beasts.
Yeah, I get that. But if it makes you feel better, those cave spiders, they're no longer a problem. Well, at least those ones aren't a problem.
Well,
I'm
I
sure
guess
there's more.
my uncle will be pleased to hear that you helped deal with the pestilence of the grazing area. But that still doesn't give you any right to be in our grazing area. And she
Again,
shakes
we
a
just kind
finger at
of
you.
we were about to go over the edge in a boat, and we just kind of jumped to avoid dying. You know, so I get it. I do. So if you could like guide us out of your grazing area, then we'll be out of your hair.
Okay, well, I have to take these. You help me find them and get them across the bridge to the marketplace where my uncle is, and
Okay.
and you'll be in the market, and you can go from there wherever you want, I suppose, as long as you don't run into any problems with anyone else.
Yeah, that sounds good. We can help. And I'm going to translate in common, be like, hey guys, we're going to help this our friend here find her. Oh, what is the translation? Little fuzzy things with horns with her herd. Apparently, when the little spider guys came down, scorpion things, they scared off the herd. So now she didn't know where they were. And
Yeah,
then
so
she'll
you-
guide us to the market.
Okay.
Cool. So you do a translation. Everybody figures it out. And then she listens to you sort of give this translation, and says, "You all speak common?"
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't really speak common, but I speak undercommon. Do you speak undercommon?
Nope.
No.
No.
Oh. You should learn undercommon. It's very useful if you're going to be underground here. The Underdark is full of races that speak different languages, but undercommon is sort of the common language for the Underdark races. Everybody who does business in the Underdark, all the merchants and everyone else, they all speak some form of undercommon. It's very, very helpful
Mhm.
if you just want to get across your general message.
Oh, definitely. Do you think while we look for your herd that you can give me some like key phrases in Undercommon? That way I can write them down. That way we have them.
What's in it for me?
I can give you some gold. I mean, we're also helping you find your herd.
Yeah, roll a persuasion check.
Okie dokie. Third P. That's a natural 20.
Wow.
Nice.
Awesome. Oh, yeah, I guess beggars can't be choosers. All right. And she starts sort of giving you some really basic words. Of course, you don't know for sure if she's actually teaching you properly or not, unless you want to try to, do insight checks. But then it might also be one of those things where you could end up insulting somebody by accident. Who knows?
True.
So it's up to you if you want to do that.
I think she hasn't given off the vibe of she'll give us sentences that say that your mom's a llama. So I think we'll be okay.
You haven't checked though.
That's
when
true.
when I was a teenager, I used to give tourists wrong instructions all the time because I hated them.
That's terrible. Yeah, I could roll an insight. I could roll one. Let's see. That's an 8.
What do you think?
I think,
don't know.
this girl would not lead us astray. We're helping her out, There's absolutely no way. No way whatsoever. I trust this girl with everything.
Fair enough. That's pretty much the most. What more could you possibly expect or ask for, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I guess I
You
can't
start heading
do
down.
insight since I don't understand what she's saying.
Yeah, you don't even know what it is that they're
No.
discussing. So, what insight would there be, really?
No. Right.
Yeah. So you guys start walking down this hallway, I suppose, and this tunnel. She starts calling out, somewhat softly. You don't really notice a whole lot until suddenly you come around a bend and you see one of these incredibly large, shaggy, and unbelievably stinky beasts. They're covered head to toe in sort of 2-foot long hair, which is a bit odd because it's super hot down here. And hang on, I lost it. And they've got very, very large horns and a giant hump on their back. And they're probably half a dozen of these sort of milling about in a cavern, just munching on the fungus, nibbling at the fungus that's growing on the walls. Some of it's bioluminescent, some of it isn't. Oh, there they are. And then she sort of sniffs a bit, wrinkles her nose, and then says, "You smell that? and you are all overcome with the incredibly overpowering smell of rotting fish. And she goes, "That's Stinky. He's here somewhere." And she looks around between the Rotha's legs and finally spots him and pulls him out by what appears to be a chain around his neck. "Stinky, you bad, bad boy." And she starts kicking him repeatedly in the shin, and he's hopping from one leg to the other. "I told you, don't run away like that. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and I'm going to tell Uncle, and he's going to punish you." And then she takes out a small, what looks to be like a little whip or rotting crop, and slashes him across the face. And you see like a drop of blood come out of his fish-like mouth. And he, although he's a medium-sized creature, he's about 5'1.5", so he's about the size of Satina, but a little bit skinnier in the appendages, with a large beer beer barrel type body. He cringes at the whipping, and puts his hands up defensively to protect his face. "Right. Well, we've found Stinky. No thanks to him. And we found the Rotha, so we can get going."
Perfect. Lead the way.
Now, if Stinky runs off again, you have my permission to kill him.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Poor Stinky.
My uncle was very clear. He'd rather have Stinky be killed than let him get away again, because he's done it before. He's very, very naughty, isn't he? Isn't he, Stinky? And she kicks him again.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. After you, let's head on to the market.
Okay. Oh, I managed to double up the tokens for some reason. Right, so you guys head out. As you do, you realize that the caverns are getting, some of them are getting smaller, but a lot of them are actually getting a lot bigger. And also, it's getting incredibly warm. Like, the further you travel, you're also traveling down at a gradient. The hotter and hotter it gets. It gets to the point where it starts to feel literally like you're boiling. It's hotter than Chult, right? So I don't think any of you are wearing metal armor, are you?
No.
Is Cracker's not wearing metal armor? Okay.
No.
Yeah. As you approach, you realize that the ground is changing and it becomes paved. And suddenly you find yourselves on a rather long bridge with the Rotha. Now, one of the odd things about this bridge is, although it's very well constructed, there are sections that are missing, and there also seem to be little pools of lava. And you realize, as you are standing on the edge of this thing, that actually the lava underneath you is bubbling up, and these big bubbles explode on occasion in random locations in a way that it spews lava on top of the bridge, splattering sections of the bridge at various times. And although the lava cools pretty quickly, anybody who gets hit by it is obviously going to be damaged. Oh, I hate this bit. Usually the lava's not this active, but something must be upsetting it. My uncle calls it a case of indigestion. Normally, I would let Stinky lead the way and guide the Rotha, but I don't trust him. I think he's going to run off again. I think you should do it. And she points at the three of you.
Sorry. Do what you wanted to not run away again?
Well, I think what you should do is... Oh, you guys can't see the map. I'm sorry about that. What you should do is lead the Rotha across the bridge into the entrance.
Oh, okay. I think we can manage that.
without getting killed by the lava because the floor is.
Oh wow. I don't understand what you say.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's right. It's
Yeah.
a shame. It's like you knew what I was going with, but you're like,
Mm.
I don't. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
You just hear blah 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 blah.
And you see Satina put her hand in her head, or her head in her hand. Like, we have to get the Rotha across. But the lava, it bursts. So let's not die. Woo! Go team.
All right. So the way we're going to do this is each of you can now for you guys, it's pretty easy to avoid the lava. Although they burst and they will splatter. You may be able to avoid it, but part of it is also just being smart enough to sort of sense it. So you guys will have advantage on your checks. If you get hit with the lava, however, you will potentially take damage. The Rotha, if they take damage, they could get very skittish and flee. And if they flee, who knows what might happen. Also, although they're very large, you guys are, experienced adventurers. You've got a sort of sixth sense when it comes to combat, even if you're not a martial class. Right? You don't know for sure how these Rotha would be affected by lava because the lava is, it literally will burn through stone, right? So you get enough of it on you and it's just going to it's going to eviscerate a hole through your torso.
Mm-hmm.
So, you probably don't want to let lava spew on top of these Rotha.
That'd probably be for the best.
Probably would be for the best, for sure. Yeah, especially if you're trying to get produce to market, as it were.
Yeah. Quick team huddle.
What's going on?
I can't remember because I think it'd be really funny if we walked across with these Rotha as like balloons and just like held them up in the air. That way they didn't get hit by the lava. But there's a specific spell for that. And I'm wondering if anybody has said spell.
Well, one person does, but she's not here today.
Fuck, that's what I thought.
She's passed out, so you're all kind of like dragging her along.
Oh,
she found the
party's
stash of wine, and she's suddenly realizing that she's never really let her hair down. Probably because she doesn't have any hair. So now that she's had a moment to relax, she's kind of just reminiscing about all the people that she lost and all the mistakes she made in her life, and sort of, she's like a maudlin mess back there. Yeah.
Okay.
Here's to the ones that we lost. Here's to the.
Oh, that would have been so fun. All right.
Well, I can speak with them for a bit. I don't know how many animals I can speak to. If it's one to one.
In the chat.
Okay, I'm just looking. It doesn't seem to be very specifically. Could I give all of the animals sort of a general sense of calm? Do you see it?
Sorry. Do I see what the ability? I don't see anything in Roll20 yet.
Oh shoot!
I can post
Okay.
it. I posted it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm getting red bars again.
Okay. Yeah. So it says specifically that you can. Yeah, I mean they are beasts for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What? So what? Well, sorry. What were you trying to do again?
I was going to try and give them a general sense of calm and to sort of calm them and have them trust us.
So it's not part of the spell itself, but since you can communicate with them, you can certainly attempt some sort of ability check or skill check.
Okay, and I think it would be like persuasion, not intimidation.
You will calm down or I will kill you. I will make you into
Maybe-
T-bone steaks.
Here, don't be afraid, but be afraid. No, it's
Since I recognize the spell and know what she's doing, can I give her guidance? Shit stuff.
Sure, yeah. Absolutely. And you guys can certainly talk to each other and tell each other what you're doing. No limitation
Okay.
on that, right?
yeah. I'm gonna just try and persuade these. What are they called again? I can't remember what that person
Rotha.
said.
Rotha.
Rotha. Okay.
There you go.
I'm gonna try and calm them down a bit.
Okay.
They seem a bit skittish. Damn. Did you see that roll?
With plus a D4.
Yeah, roll your D4 added in. But don't forget to say it out loud because, in case people are listening to it and not watching. So just tell us
That's
what
right.
you actually
Well, I
rolled.
did. I rolled a persuasion and I got a 10 and an 8 because I did it with
Okay.
advantage. Yeah. That didn't work out so well. Being that it's charisma based
Yeah.
and I'm just so
So-
sexy.
No comment. Yeah, so I'll say that they settled down a little bit. It's not like, they were not particularly happy with the whole bubbling heat kind of thing. They're animals. They don't necessarily understand what lava is exactly, but they realize it's very, very hot. And they can see that, it's getting to they can sense that the rest of you are a little bit nervous as well, right? Let's put it that way. So they're getting a little bit skittish with sort of what's going on. Your attempts to settle them down do work a little bit. It's not like they're going to get worse, but they may not. They're not like, they're not on 2 rounds of medical marijuana. Let's just say.
Okay.
Okay. So how do you guys want to do it? Do you guys want to go in a particular order? Do you guys want to lead somebody across? You can lead each person, each of the 3 of you can lead one Rotha at a time. And what you haven't actually asked your new sort of acquaintance's name, but the young dwarf, gray-colored dwarf, says that she ties Stinky to one of these pillars along the front of the bridge and says, Stinky, if you try to leave, I will absolutely have Uncle hunt you down. And if you get away from these 3, then you're going to live a very short and very scared life. But if you don't, they're going to kill you. Do you understand? And Stinky nods his cold, his fishy head with his cold eyes. Yeah. Cold.
Okay.
Jeez, vicious. All right.
I think one of y'all should go in the back, just because you guys can talk with animals, or maybe one of y'all in the front, one of y'all in the back, and then I'll be in the middle because I don't have any influence over animals whatsoever.
Okay.
So you can make sure that they don't run away and make sure that they're going to the right place, keep them calm and stuff.
Okay, I'll go in the back.
Okay.
Oh no, wait. I'll go in the front because I have dark vision.
Well, it kind of doesn't really matter because you're all
bright
going to
enough in
take
here?
turn. It's plenty bright. There's a lot of light.
Okay.
The lava
Okay.
is very, very bright, and it's reflecting off the glistening surface. The rock looks like it's almost sweating, possibly because there is some moisture, but also possibly because there may be some, like zinc or some other shiny mineral in the rock formations. Effectively, you're all going to take turns leading one Rotha. You're all going to have to choose how you're going to try to do it. Animal handling certainly is a relevant skill, But if you can justify some other skill or a magical ability or something else or a feature or just, whatever, or just being creative with whatever you've got in your inventory, I'll certainly be open-minded. These are pack beasts. I mean, they look a bit like what you think they look like, and they behave a bit like what you would think, although they're a little bit more they're quite passive, but they look like they could get a bit ornery if riled up.
Satina, can you ask her if there are a pack leader, kind of an alpha in the group?
Yeah.
That they follow?
Yeah, I'll turn to her and be like, hey, just wondering, is there like out of the pack, is there like a one that's like more leader-ish, like more of like a alpha situation type thing with your pack, with your herd?
She says, yes. That one in the front there, we call him Big Mason. And
That one right there?
I'm going to put 2 dots of color there.
Okay.
You should go first. They usually follow
Nice.
the alpha.
Well done.
So
and that's a point of
Big
inspiration as well.
Yeah, that was good.
Good idea.
Almost all cows has an alpha female that they follow. So if you're going to go somewhere, take that one first.
Learn something new every day.
Of course, if that one stampedes, then woo-wee.
Sure.
It's barbecue tonight. Okay, so who's going to lead Big Mason?
Well, I could.
Yeah, you can still talk to them. I can't do that today. I didn't prepare it. So
Yeah, and
I didn't
I've
expect
got some
animals
animal-
down here. To be honest.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, friendly
Especially herd
animals.
animals.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I've got animal handling, so
Yeah, I got
okay.
4, so it's okay. But I was just thinking that I can go in the back, and if anyone gets loose, I can wild shape and try and herd them back.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Sheepdog or something. Turn into a sheepdog. Cattle
And
dog.
like they've never seen a sheepdog, so it's like they'll be even more intimidated. What the hell is this little tiny furry creature making all this noise?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so how do you want to do it?
So, do I have a rope around Big Mason?
Not currently, but you could certainly tie a noose around it.
I love that you're naming them. This is great. I like butter. Okay, so I take some rope and I turn to Satina first because I want to check on this. Satina, can you ask her if we can like rope one of these guys, like that big Mason one?
Sure. And I'm gonna relay that, be like, hey, can we maybe tie a rope around Big Mason to like lead him? Or are they like free wandering?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want as long as you don't actually harm them.
Oh no, we don't want to do that. Yeah, go ahead and tie the rope. You're good.
Okay, so I loosely tie a rope around one of the horns of Big Mason just to sort of, give a little tug to show him which way we want to go.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to use animal handling.
Okay.
Is that what you want to use?
Yep, I do.
You tell me. Okay, cool. And okay, so you've got a rope. I'll say that the rope gives you advantage.
Okay. Did you see my roll? This is stupid.
I
Roll 20 is driving me crazy.
I did not see your roll, but also just generally, just read out the roll anyway. It doesn't.
Okay.
I trust you, right? So, but also, even if I can't see it, again, because a lot of people have said they like listening to it and they prefer just to have it in the background.
To speak it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my roll was It should be coming up now. Hold on. A 10. 10 and an
Okay.
8. So hopefully I looped it gently around his horns.
Again,
No, just the single time.
you rolled a
you're saying
10 and an 8
I-
before? You rolled
Yeah,
a 10
that's
and
what I
8 for
rolled.
persuasion, and you rolled again, a 10 and 8 again?
Oh, no, I didn't. Well, that's weird.
I mean,
Hold on.
it's possible. It just seems it's a very low probability you would get the same two
Nope.
numbers again.
No, it's just that it showed it and then I reloaded and you're right. It wasn't there. Hold on.
Okay.
One more roll and hopefully it shows up. I got a 13 and a 16.
Okay.
Advantage with the rope.
Did I change this? So I think you guys all have access to controlling the Rotha, so you can walk them across on your own.
I almost want to ride
Beautiful.
it, but I know that would be insane. So I'm not going to ride it.
All right.
Get
So
up.
so just to be clear, what you've managed to do is make this thing follow you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
It'll follow you whichever path you take. Now, mechanically, whatever path you take kind of doesn't really matter because it's assumed that you're going to avoid the lava on the bridge and any bubbling lava that you see. But you will have to make your own saving throw to dodge the lava that's bubbling up and exploding.
Okay.
All right. And this way,
Okay.
if you fail your saving throw, you will potentially also cause your Rotha to take damage, which has its own, as we discussed, potentially bad outcomes.
Mhm. So I can move. I'm going to move to here.
Okay.
And do I bring Big Mason with me?
Yeah, just take it.
Hopefully.
Just drag the. You should all be able to individually control the tokens.
Okay. So that's where we are. And
Okay.
you would like me to roll.
Go roll.
I also. Oh, sorry. I also have
Yeah.
danger sense. So hopefully that plays to my advantage. I'll
Yes,
link that in there.
absolutely. Any advantage that you have for yourself will essentially confer onto your Rotha that you're managing at the time.
Okay. So advantage on. Sorry, what do you want me to roll? Dex? No.
It would be a dex saving throw if you're trying to dodge it. If you want to justify something else, and you want to explain how that would work, you know,
Mhm.
I'm open to any of them. Like seriously,
Okay.
right? Because you could, you know, you're not just avoiding an explosion yourself. You're you're really trying to make sure that this Rotha doesn't take damage, right? That's the critical thing.
Exactly.
Mechanically, getting hit in and of itself isn't the end of the world as long as it doesn't take damage or it doesn't take very much damage. If it takes too much damage, it either goes crazy or it dies.
Mhm.
Right. So how you want to avoid it taking damage, I'll let you guys be creative about it.
Okay. So is there any bubbling lava here, or are we safe?
It's just going to be one roll, and there'll be one outcome for each individual Rotha.
Okay. So I think it'll be an athletics roll.
It's got to be something like a saving throw
Or
or an ability check, but no skill proficiencies.
okay. I'm trying it. I'm looking. I'm like, I don't know, because it's strength. Okay. Well, I'll do a dexterity check, a dexterity saving throw
Okay.
with advantage because of my nice little dodge bonus there. So I can definitely sort of sense that there might be some lava danger, and hopefully I can just nudge Big Mason out of the way with a 13.
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
Big Mason will do what you tell him to do, and your danger sense is built for this kind of stuff.
Okay. Do you want me to just keep going, or do we need to bring everybody
So you
along?
rolled a 3 and a 13.
Yep.
Yeah. So that one, Big Mason manages to get across just fine, and you can manage to dodge back. You can try to walk back yourself. Roll another dex save yourself with advantage
Okay.
to see if you take damage this time yourself.
Yep. I will do
Okay.
that.
And that's basically what we're going to do. But if you guys want to do, okay, so now you're going to take. Do you want to roll 2d8 for yourself?
Okay.
And that'll be fire damage, of course.
Ouch.
Oh. So
And
8 fire
oh yeah,
damage. And you didn't
okay. And I'm not
rage.
raging.
Yeah, see?
Well, no, I just didn't want to. I always think that rage is going to set me up to trigger an attack or something. I mean, if I'm
Well-
standing there going, "Rah!" and I'm trying to keep this animal calm, it's really hard for me to visualize that. Stay calm, but hang on. Rah!
Yeah. That is absolutely a reasonable point. I totally agree with that.
But you can have
Um,
inner rage boiling up in you and not explode.
Okay.
Yes, I agree
Do
with
I
that
have that
too.
kind of self-control?
Mhm.
I don't
Okay.
know. Do you?
Well, I do. I am raging now because that hurt. God
It's like, what? Why didn't I think of raging before? Damn it! Arrgh. Pissed at myself, just like bang your head on the concrete. Okay, cool. So who wants to go next? Well done. You paved the way.
I can go next.
Okay, so you tell me how you're going to try to maintain control of your beast, and
Mhm.
also what you would try to do to avoid being hit by the lava that is
Mhm.
bubbling up. It's somewhat unpredictable, but at the same time, you've only been there a couple of seconds, right? You've only been there like a minute to tie some rope around one of them and then basically lead them across. So who knows?
Right. So I'm just going to so I'm gonna like lightly put my hand on who am I taking? I think I'm gonna take Chubby because I like his name. I'm gonna take Chubby.
Chubby nuzzles you as you lean into it.
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna
the
put my hand
slimy
on him.
tongue reaches out and starts licking your hair
Oh,
and
wonderful.
eating it.
Delicious. And I'm gonna take one of the little things that I have from Cessna's sack lunch, and I'm gonna
Ooh.
mage hand and hold it out in front to guide him.
Awesome. Yeah, very cool. So you can definitely roll with advantage. That'll be a combined benefit of having Big Mason go first, which would have, I was going to just give you sort of a +2. But instead, because you use this other alternative option, I'm going to also add that together, and essentially it'll be advantage.
Yay. Okay, is that animal handling or is that dexterity save?
Like I said, so you have to roll to maintain control first. That'll be something specific. That'll be a skill check. It can be animal handling, but it can be something else if you want to make a justification for it that works.
I mean, I'm trying. No, I think animal handling is probably the best one for that.
Okay.
So with advantage, that's 2 4s. I got 2 4s with my
Well,
advantage.
at the moment, he's fine. He's docile enough that he will basically follow along with you. But,
Yeah.
all bets are off if he gets hit, right?
Yeah. They're like, okay, buddy, come on. Let's go, Chubby. Let's walk across this fiery bridge. It's going to be great. We're going to have such a good time.
And he kind of continues to eat your clothes, like the sleeve of your robe, and then goes back and forth between that and whatever goodies you've dangled out in front of him. So now what kind of saving throw do you think it should be? I'll always accept dexterity, but as I said, if you want to make a case for something else, and it's a good one, I'm open-minded to it.
Let's see. Could it be intelligence to see like if I can pinpoint where maybe I can see some cracks coming up to like watch to make sure that we're not going to get like spewed on because I can see the signs beforehand. I know it's random, but if I keep an eye out, then I can make sure that we avoid the cracks when they do explode.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll let you roll
Nice.
with intelligence. Yeah. So you'll spend like a couple of minutes to sort of discern if there's some sort of a noticeable pattern. And
Mhm.
actually, there is a timing pattern. It does look quite random, but if you spend enough time, you realize that there is something there. And as a dwarf, and even as a gnome, you would have
Mhm.
also known that a lot of these volcanic events are centered around tectonic activity, and sometimes they can also be affected by little pockets of gas, methane, that are slowly being released over time, which, because they tend to be released on sort of a standard, within a very micro, localized time period, they tend to be fairly stable because it's just basic physics of um, molecules movement through various strata and forms. You're going to be able to get a sense for when some of the bubbles are popping, so you'll definitely be able to have advantage overall. So go ahead and roll that with intelligence, and you can have. I'll give you a +2 bonus, not a full advantage,
Okay.
to try to make that save.
All right. 18 plus 18. I have 18.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
So although you don't really maintain good control, he kind of wanders left and right. You do manage to sort of dangle the stick, and because you're dangling the stick in the right way and you're avoiding all the timing pattern issues with respect to the bubbling lava, it never comes close to Chubby. And so Chubby just sort of docilely walks across the bridge, barely even noticing the little bits of lava that occasionally plop onto the bridge and burn little sections of it and create divots in the stone. Well done.
Yay!
Do you want to do another save to come back and see if you get hurt?
Yeah, sure. Let's see, bring him over here. Let's see. Could I do intelligence again, or should I just do dex?
No, you can do intelligence. You're still using the same abilities, so
Okay. That's a 13?
just going. Yeah, you managed to cross it just fine.
Yay!
Do you do like a little victory dance, or sort of like signal to Cracker, this is how you do it?
Like throw my hair back a little bit.
Too easy.
So there is like a timing thing. Gnomes are tinkerers, right? During the next pass, could I like look a little bit more closely to see if there's like mechanisms causing this timing, or is it just the science behind it? And if I can distinguish that.
That's a good idea. So that'll be an investigation check.
Okay.
Straight up.
Gnomes, they're tinkerers, and so that's what I
Sure.
grew up with.
Absolutely.
That is a
Ooh.
dirty 20.
So the one thing that you're sure about is that it is a fairly consistent pattern, at least within the time frame you've been watching it. What you're not sure about is whether or not there would be a mechanism buried underneath all the lava, because in order for you to really know for sure, you'd have to get underneath the lava to check, which you're obviously not going to do.
True.
The net effect is essentially the same. So for the purposes of trying to avoid being splattered upon, you think that although it's an interesting intellectual exercise, it probably isn't going to yield any extra benefit.
Fair. But Satina is thoroughly like, this is really cool.
Taking notes.
Yes, absolutely. Like, oh, maybe we could use this. She's going to turn into an engineer by the end of this campaign.
Yeah, that's the hope, right? That's the hope. Cool. All right, so I guess it's Dalin's turn.
Yes. First thought was to use animal handling. Just
Sure, yeah, that'll work.
try to just calm them down. Try to I'm gonna try and also take my rope out and kind of tie it around the horn. I'm gonna try that
Okay.
first. Animal handling.
Sure.
10. Eh,
Sorry, you rolled a 10.
Yeah.
Okay. But did you roll with advantage? Because I'm going to give you
Oh, no.
advantage with the rope
I did.
and everything else. Between the
23.
rope and the benefits. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Woo,
Yeah. And
nice.
this one literally is eating out of your hand, even though you don't have anything in your hand.
Oh.
And it actually kind of like pushes its nose under. Which one is it that you're taking, by the way?
Sander.
Xander literally pushes his nose underneath and between your legs, and you suddenly rise up on Xander's neck.
Oh.
And like Lady Godiva herself, you are literally riding Xander across the bridge of lava.
Nice. Nice. Try and discern the pattern. Can I use perception to kind of try and see the arc of the molten lava coming when they shoot up? To kind of use perception,
Ye-
try and see where they're going to land to try and avoid them.
Sure, yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay. Cross our fingers.
You can have advantage on that.
Okay. 17.
Wow, nice. Yeah, so you literally prance across the bridge. A couple of bubbles explode, but you actually dodge by going under them like a surfer on a wave. And you just literally shoot the tunnel, right? And you come out the other side. And then does Dalin show how, the hair toss should be done properly?
Of course. Just fling my hair back and that's how we do it.
And a little strand of hair comes loose and manages to intersect a little drop of lava, and it just sort of literally incinerates in the air, creating a small fireworks effect.
Yeah. Okay. Then
With panache.
try and get back.
Try and get back.
Yeah. I'm gonna use perception again.
Okay.
Try. 17 again. So.
All right.
just
Yeah.
wanna-
Sorry, it should be a saving throw to cross. I
Okay.
should have said, but but
Yeah.
it's fine.
I can do
That'll be
that.
wisdom. We'll call.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay.
That's
It's essentially this.
I think you're showing off with your high
Oh,
rolls.
yeah, I get your. I get the point already. I get the point, Henrietta. We all get the point already.
We get it. You're awesome. Okay.
I actually was thinking about using a thunder wave to kind of blast off the lava coming towards us, but it's kind of a loud bang, and I was thinking that's not
Yeah.
good.
That would definitely startle them.
Yeah.
What if like the bridge just like couldn't take that thunder wave? Like it's got
Yeah,
all this
right.
lava pressure. That would be so bad.
Oh.
And suddenly
And
we're in
party white.
we're in the middle version of the Lord of the Rings, where Gandalf is
Yes.
fighting
Yeah.
the Balrog on the bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess it's Yvonne's turn again.
Okay,
Cracker.
so I have my rope.
Okay.
And I walk up to Butter, and I have a
Mm.
little, calming moment, even though I'm pissed as hell because I have some burns and I don't like that.
How does Cracker
And-
try to maintain this dichotomy of both being raging internally whilst trying to maintain calm while she's persuading Butter?
I'm biting the inside of my cheek, and
Oh.
I'm swearing under my breath just a little.
Ooh, that sounds painful. All right.
Hold it together, Cracker. It's okay. Nice, Rosa Butter, nice butter. So I'm
Okay.
gonna roll animal handling
All right.
with
Yeah, go ahead
advantage.
and roll with advantage.
Just to see, first of all. Okay, good. 19. Woo.
Yeah.
Didn't hear me swearing. That's good. And then I'm going to.
Butter makes a low kind of mooing sound.
Aw. Nice Butter. And I give Butter a little scruff scruff.
Butter's eyes close briefly.
Oh,
I like these guys.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to do my with advantage. I'll just do a dexterity check
Mm-hmm.
as I am trying to respond to what's happening out there,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to looking for a pattern, because that would be out of character.
Right.
True.
I'm just reactionary. Oh, 12.
You got a 12.
Yep, I got a 12.
Okay, yeah, you managed to make it across okay, and Butters, although a couple of explosions do sort of land somewhat nearby, you do successfully steer Butter carefully between the dropping bits of lava. And Butter is so in love with you that it doesn't, she doesn't even seem to notice.
Love that.
So I'm gonna stay at the end of the bridge with mooing Butter, because there's only 2 left, and I
Okay.
trust my
Yeah.
compatriot.
Well, somebody's going to have to deal with Stinky, though.
Yeah, that's
Bring
true.
him with me.
He's tied to the bridge right now.
He's tied to the bridge, but he's got like that shifty look in his eye. His eyes are darting back and forth.
Okay.
Mm.
And your Dylan's perception is what again? 16?
17. Passive.
Yeah, so Dalin will actually spot that his feet are kind of he's slowly spreading his feet and shifting them without lifting his feet, almost like he's planting them.
Okay, so it's me next, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Could I attach Stinky to Nellie? Like to her horn?
Yes, absolutely. However, between the two of them, and you don't know what Stinky's going to do, if Stinky decides not to be cooperative, this could create, a negative effect on your ability either to maintain control on Nellie or successfully roll a save for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Can I kind of, are we in initiative, or can I stop Satina if I see that she is going to?
Yeah, we're not an initiative, but I think you guys are kind of taking your time, so I don't think there's any.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any inability for you to interfere. Yeah.
And just thinking that, just saying to Satina, stop, wait, don't tie him to Nelly, tie him to me, and I'm going to turn into the most beautiful Roth you have ever seen. And I do believe that Jojo is a female, right?
Yes, JoJo's a female.
Yes,
Yeah.
the most beautiful bull Roth that you've ever seen. And I'm just gonna prance, kind of trying to get their attention. And you can tie Stinky to me.
Hopefully you're not so beautiful that the other ones come running back.
Come back, yeah. Hopefully not. Or
All right, yeah. I can tie Stinky to Dallin, no problem.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing with this thing now. So wait, so you're turning yourself into a beautiful Rotha, but what's the purpose of it exactly?
To tie Stinky to me, and I'm going to try and coax Jojo over after Satina go over with Nelly.
Oh, I see. Okay, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. All right.
Using my charm.
Okay, fair enough. Yep.
I wrote charm.
You're gonna break poor
Rotha
JoJo's
charm.
heart.
Yeah. I mean, this almost feels like seduction. If we had a seduction skill, what would that be? Persuasion?
Definitely a
Rotha
charisma check.
persuasion? It's definitely charisma, right? I mean, yeah.
Or
Although
it's
you don't
just
know.
the plans of nature.
It could be, yeah. It could, I mean, what are how would you? How Henrietta? You tell us. how do you feel Arotha would I mean, it could even be like Constitution, like your Musk, right?
Yeah.
Just the strength of your Rotha,
Performance, do a little dance, like birds do.
I feel maybe that persuasion is the best thing for me. I'm just gonna try and kind of jig with my foot and kind of huff and puff and blow up my muscles and kind of fling a little bit with my horns and huff and puff. I don't, no, I was just thinking about kind of doing I know the dare call for boxing when the dare and he mating calls. But
Mhm.
nope,
Gosh.
not gonna do that. I'm just gonna try and persuade her to follow me.
Okay.
I'm gonna tie Stinky to Dellen's horn, her majestic Rotha horn.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So again, you want to go with Nelly first?
Yeah, I'll go with Nelly first. Bring her over here. And I'll just use intelligence again to get across now that I see the pattern.
As you start making your way, you look behind you and you see Delin sort of prancing about, just sort of doing like a side shuffle, and Jojo's head is kind of like sort of swinging back and forth, watching, almost mesmerized in unison as the gigantic Rotha buttocks are sort of shaking in front of her.
Oh gosh.
Here you go, girl.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your rolls.
Okay. I got 17 for intelligence to cross the bridge.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
But did you roll your animal handling check?
Oh,
No?
fuck, that's right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You managed to get Nelly across without taking damage, so you're okay.
Perfect. I was thrown
Yeah.
so off
Sorry.
by the spectacle.
By the song.
Oh my god. That's. I love this game.
All right, so Delin, you are. I mean,
Uh-huh.
what more can be said at this stage? I'm gonna let you have control of Stinky as well, so you can do all of that. So you'll definitely have advantage on controlling Jojo.
So animal handling, or was it?
If you want.
Persuasion, maybe.
I mean, which one's going to be better for you?
Persuasion.
Yeah, definitely persuasion then. I mean, I'm persuaded. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
Oh, and I crit. 25.
Oh, very nice. I don't know what that means.
No.
No, I'm worried.
Jojo literally sidles up next to Delin and starts like rubbing her head against Delin's side, and then turns around and presents herself.
Oh, God.
Oh gosh.
I knew it.
And then she looks over her haunch at Delin and bats her very long eyelashes expectantly.
Oh.
I'm gonna play hard to get.
This is backfiring for you.
No, I'm gonna play hard to get, and I'm going to,
breaking hearts.
And I'm gonna, since I still keep my wisdom, I'm gonna use a wisdom save to try and get over the bridge again.
Okay.
Burn so. Okay, that's normal. 17.
Okay. So now you're going to roll with disadvantage because you didn't do anything to try to stop Stinky from interfering.
Okay. Okay. 9.
Oh, okay. Roll 2d8 damage,
2d8.
which all three of you potentially will take.
5.
Oh boy.
5 points. Okay. So Jojo gets hit with a splatter of lava and she starts freaking out.
Could I use my reaction and use my projected ward on Jojo?
Can you post it in the chat?
I sure can. A creature within 30 feet. I don't know where they are on the bridge.
Well, okay, we can
Oh,
say
not
that
that
they're close. Yeah. You can use your to absorb that damage. So you're going to take the damage instead of letting Jojo take it.
Yeah, my ward is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just say randomly, right, on a 50-50 chance that, 30 feet and the bridge is, how far is it? Let's say
little
about
far.
100. So 120. So really simplistically, 30 out of 120. Let's say it's a 25% chance. So if you roll a d4 on a 1 or 4
Okay.
or whatever, what number, no, you choose the number.
Okay, on a 2.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I almost said 3. Bummer.
Oh, so
Damn
Jojo takes the damage. But as Jojo starts freaking out, she looks back at Delin, who also takes 5 points of damage. But Delin presumably doesn't freak out.
No, I don't flinch.
You don't flinch. Stoic, like
Yeah.
strong like bull. And Jojo is just so impressed. And even though like a chunk of her hide is actually smoldering, and she keeps sort of skittering aside from it as if it's something that was actively poking her, and she's trying to move away from it, it only just pushes her closer to Delin, and she sort of settles down, and she looks a bit sad at Delin, looking almost like she wants Delin to do something about it, but she seems to, you sense that Jojo trusts you, and she would follow you into the lava itself.
And we go over. Ooh.
Of course,
So much
Stinky-
romance.
I know, isn't it? And Stinky, of course, takes 5 points of damage, and as he does, you smell frying fish.
Nice.
Eek.
And as he gets across the bridge, the little dwarf lady, little dwarf girl, comes over and slaps him across the face again. Says, "I knew you're going to try something. Wait till Uncle Beigebeard hears about this. You're going to be in so much trouble." Well done, everyone. So that was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah. Minimal damage.
Minimal
Yeah.
damage. Only one person took damage, and you know what? They are so in love that they barely even felt it.
Love that.
Now Jojo does look pretty badly singed, and actually she's limping quite badly.
I'm gonna turn back into myself and put a healing word on her. This is kind of my fault.
Okay, yeah. Roll a. Okay, so you're going to heal her completely, but before you do that, can you roll a d20 for what Jojo's reaction is in seeing her beloved
Oh no, the poor baby.
disappearing?
Me.
She
No.
freaks out.
No.
No!
And you manage to heal her as she's running away because she's still in distance, but she starts running down the tunnel ahead of you.
Oh gosh.
Not a broken heart.
And you just hear her mooing, just like,
Sorry.
and she's like angry and upset and stampeding, and you hear some shouts down the tunnel
It would
from
never work
other
between us.
humanoids that seem to be complaining. Some of you who understand Dwarven or other languages, you can pick up there's somebody's yelling in Orcish. What the hell is going on out there? Stampeding Rotha, look out!
Had to happen
All right.
eventually.
All right. So, do you guys want to take a break? I mean, I'm fine to continue, but it's up to you guys.
Yeah, I need a snack.
Okay. All right. We'll take 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Hi. We hope you're enjoying this episode, and if so, please like and subscribe. And remember, the next time your DM says "Roll initiative," yell back.
Here,
hold
my earrings.
Here, my earrings.
This is good. I think we only need this take.
We should probably ask this chick's name.
Yeah, I was thinking.
We're really bad about getting people's names.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what phrases did she give me in Undercommon?
I mean, did you ask for some specific guidance on something?
I asked for a couple of phrases that would be able to help us out.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what
Like-
phrases did you want?
Like, I'm trying to think of what languages or what phrases you should know when you go to a foreign country. Like,
Donde
where's the
está la
bathroom?
biblioteca?
Like,
Discoteca.
But that's always
Where's
like the first thing they teach you in Spanish class, right? Where is the library? Like,
why
when
is
was
that
the
the
last
first
time
thing
ever?
that they teach you?
I don't know. It's like in every Spanish book.
I mean, like, I would never turn down a library. I'm not saying that, but like, I feel like you should know baño before you know biblioteca. I think it's because it's fun to say.
Reminds me of the Flight of the Conchords, that song, you know?
Oh,
Where the
yeah.
biblioteca?
Absolutely. Okay, so we're all back then. All good to go?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Awesome. All right. So, yes. So, what phrases did you say you wanted to learn?
Let's see. Where were we trying to go? We were just trying to get to the Underdark, but from here, we're trying to get to like the mushroom place right?
Yeah.
Where
Portobello.
where homegirl's from?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Portobello. It's called.
Portobello.
I have it in my notes. But
Yeah, you can roll history checks if you want.
those that's your forte.
17?
Ironically. 17. Yes. So the place is called Aramikos.
Aram-
Yeah, I'm going to give you the exact spelling. That's what I thought. And for those of you who know Latin root words, you can see the Mikos is in there, which is all right, actually that might be Greek. Is the root for mushrooms.
Did not know. Okay, so good phrase would be can you point me in the direction of Aramikos?
Yeah, Mikos is Latin for fungus. Aramikos. Aramikos. What's that?
Sick. Okay, how about this? How about where is a good place to or safe travel? Or where can we travel safely? Or can you provide safe travel in Undercommon?
To
Or how
get
much
to
is this?
where?
Or
Oh, you want to learn that phrase?
yes.
Oh, I thought you were asking me.
Oh, sorry.
And then she starts telling you in Undercommon how to say that phrase. You think, for all you know, she's telling you how to say, your mother eats elderberries. You can roll history to see if you retain the knowledge. Whether or not you know what it is a separate issue, but you would certainly have to also try to memorize it properly at a minimum.
Definitely. That's a critical failure for a 7. That's a 7.
It's a little bit too complicated for you at the moment because you're still sort of dealing with like the whole Rotha situation, and
True.
how you're still just amazed by how your party member managed to completely break the heart of this poor four-legged beast at the same time that she shimmied her way across a bridge over some lava,
Mhm.
essentially half shimmied, half twerked. Um,
So I'm gonna I was planning on writing out the phrase, so it I was like nodding while I was writing and like trying to understand it, but I completely spelled it wrong, and like it's probably not gonna say what I thought it was gonna say.
no, absolutely not.
So yeah, but
So
I'm gonna be
you
like,
should
okay,
write
guys, we got that.
you should write down in your book that you actually misremembered what it is. So it'll definitely be something wrong if you ever try to use that phrase.
Mm-hmm. Okay, definitely. And the phrase was, "Can you provide safe passage?"
I thought you were asking is how do you know of a safe safe path to get there? Is that
Okay,
what you were
yeah.
asking, or can you?
Yes.
Okay, right, cool.
Alright. Let's see. Do you... Okay, we're good.
All right. Any other phrases?
How much is this?
You could probably learn, you could probably try to pick up a half dozen phrases. You could try, you might not
Mhm.
succeed on them, but
Say like, um, we are friends. We are friendly.
okay. Go ahead and roll history for that.
Okie dokie. 22.
Yes, you definitely have remembered what she taught you.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. And I'll probably just do one more, just to keep it easy.
Sure.
Um,
Running into real life memory problems.
yes.
I, I had a sense.
um, and let's see. Do have you had any problems with black mold or something along those lines?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something you could try to learn. That's a good one.
Okay.
Go ahead. Now that one's a little bit complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So conceptually, she's going to ask you back in Dwarven, like, what do you mean by black mold exactly? Just mold that's black? Anything
It's
that's
specific black mold,
fungus?
and I'm gonna pull out the moldamite and show her the black mold.
Aha. Interesting.
Be like, this stuff
You
it makes people go crazy.
right. Okay, so two things. One,
Mhm.
she looks at it and she sniffs it and shakes the jar and attempts to open it.
You can open it, just don't touch.
Okay. She opens it and then she sniffs it and goes, "Oh, yes, we've noticed. We've noticed that some of this is spreading in the Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
It's affecting some of the mushroom pastures further north. But Uncle
Okay.
would know more about that. Separately, you roll a perception check.
Okay. Perception, not my strong suit. 19?
Yes. So that is a really good roll. So you notice that the jar is half full, whereas it used to be completely full.
Where's my mold? Okay. I'm gonna turn to everybody, be like, "Hey guys, did we use some moldamite? It's like half empty."
I don't think so.
I don't
No,
think so.
Nope, you did not.
Did you?
I didn't think so.
Was it half empty when you took it up from your bag? Or
No, I mean, it was.
did she?
So,
Yes,
we
it was-
haven't used it, and I filled it up.
Yeah, it was half empty when she took it out of her bag.
Okay.
It's not because your friend, your acquaintance has done something to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Phew.
Good to know.
But you do spot some fingerprints, not mold covered fingerprints, but they are the size of your Minotaur friends.
He been eating our mold.
What?
Maybe it wears off after time.
Hmm.
We've had Cud with us for quite some time, and I mean, he was first affected by the mold. So if it wears off, maybe he was doing it because he felt himself slipping.
Maybe. Yeah. Kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know, I guess, that it can wear off. I mean, theoretically.
That it's not a permanent state. That if we do figure this out and stop it, at least everything can recover.
Yeah. We should figure out how to stop it, though. But that's hope. We're good. We have hope. The world's not going to end, hopefully.
Yay!
Okay. Okay. So can I roll to learn the have you
Yeah,
had problems
absolutely.
with the black mold?
Sure.
Okie dokie. That's a 12?
Yes, you managed to record it correctly. And the rest of you can also learn these phrases, although, you don't speak Dwarven. Between, Satina translating in common and then using Dwarven to talk to the other one giving you back the undercommon. It's not that difficult. It only
Okay.
means that you'd each have a -2 to your roll to successfully record it, which includes the one that Satina failed,
Okay.
if you want to do that.
Sure.
Yes.
But you do also need to write it down in your books, in your character sheets specifically, so you can, in real life, recall it if necessary.
Yep.
Okay. So if you guys all want to give me rolls, that's fine.
Hold on a second. So with disadvantage, sorry, is it an intelligence roll?
It's not disadvantage, it's just -2. It would
Okay,
be
just minus
your history, or if you're proficient. Otherwise, it's just straight intelligence, essentially.
Okay. I'll just go with straight intelligence.
Okay. I mean, it's the same if you're not proficient, so it doesn't matter. Real life.
It's a bunch of gobbledygook.
What did you roll? So it's a roll for each phrase.
I rolled
you-
a 2 for the first
Okay.
one.
Nice.
I rolled a 3, so nobody can say safe path.
Okay. I'm
Yvonne.
critically misunderstanding everything.
Oh,
Yeah, you're
geez.
like arguing. You're getting to the point now where you're being obstinate. You're like convinced that you heard it differently, and you're telling
Yeah.
everybody else that they're completely wrong.
I
It's
don't know
like
what you guys are talking about.
you're saying things like that. No, it's the accent on the wrong syllable. Things like that. It's like-
Is there something wrong with your computer? Yeah, exactly.
and it's getting so bad that you're starting to confuse everybody else because you're so confident in it. You're getting angry about it, and it's even like starting to use intimidation. Confusing everybody else, and they're starting to get a little intimidated and scared about it. And maybe, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. It's the other way around.
This is stupid. And I just stopped there. It's just stupid. What a stupid language.
I guess languages are not your thing, huh?
Yeah, they are. Totally know what
Okay.
that meant.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I guess I only got the last one. With a 19 on the roll and -2, so that's 17. And the second one
Okay.
was 9 with a -2.
Okay.
But I can actually talk to them either way because I can just mind link.
Well, that is true.
Hmm.
But that is also kind of invasive, so kind of we might want to have that just in emergencies.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. And so you've got your phrases down. Is there anything else you guys want to do?
Ask her name.
Yeah.
I nudged Satina. What was her name again?
Oh,
Right.
sorry. We were so set on helping you with these Rotha that we didn't even catch your name. Sorry about that.
And she responds. She stands very, very straight, sticks out her chest and her thumb, and she says, "I am Porridge. Porridge Beigebeard."
Okay. Awesome. I'm Satina. This is Dallin. This is Cracker.
And she looks at each of you and she nods briefly. She sort of dips her head. It's not so much of a nod. Now, when you see my uncle, I just call him Uncle Beigebeard, you're going to tell him that I helped you come over here and that when you first appeared, you scared the other Rotha that ran off the cliff. And then you're also going to tell him that it's Stinky's fault because he didn't do his job.
Are you not coming with?
I am, but I'm just saying you need to make sure that he gets the message that I'm not responsible for this.
Mm.
I'm not catching a beating for it, especially when it's really his fault. And she kicks Stinky again. Stinky just
Okay.
kind of blows like a bubble of fear through his mouth.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's go ahead and go see your uncle then. Maybe he can help a little bit.
Sure. Follow me. And she starts walking down the tunnel that Jojo's already run down. And as you walk down the tunnel, you start to smell the scent of civilization. You see lights, a combination of both bioluminescence as well as actual torch and firelight. There's actually a smell of water as well. It's kind of fresh water, but it's got a lot of kind of duckweed and other bits of algae kind of mixed in with it. You see a couple of these other gray-looking dwarves trying to corral Jojo with the help of an orc who seems to be in chains. There's obviously been a lot of damage. Like Jojo's just been rampaging, knocked over a whole bunch of, pots and pans and collapsed one tent that some of these folks are sharing. There's a lot of pointing and finger pointing and shouting and waving of spoons and things of that nature. It's clearly a camp, and I don't think you guys can see everything because you haven't actually gotten everywhere yet. But this is what you're looking at the moment. Okay, it's kind of like a number of tents, a couple of stalls set up, clearly merchants. People are living here as well as actually selling and hawking wares. And you seem to be on a ledge. You can see that the ceiling is sort of 30 feet above you, covered in stalactites. It's a natural cavern of some sort. But there also seems to be a bit of a drop-off because you can see more lights and even some things that look a bit like possibly actual structures, but they're off in the distance and they're just sort of glowing faintly because they're so far away your dark vision doesn't really cover it. You just see like the little lights themselves and they waver occasionally as if there's a little bit of a slight breeze.
Do we
Okay,
know
so-
what kind of dwarves these guys are?
Yeah.
Well, your dwarf isn't really a dwarf. So,
Yeah.
But
And
something we
all of
could
you
have
can
heard
roll
of?
a history check. You can all roll a history check, but unless you guys are, have some reason to understand things about the Underdark, you won't have advantage or anything.
does a lot of art come from the Underdark, or are they kind of like secluded from the top, the
that-
surface?
That's a good question. So you're proficient in your so is your what's your background again exactly? Is it history?
Yeah, I'm a sage.
Yes, you're a sage, right? Okay. So yeah, so we'll say that art history could be applicable. You already have proficiency in history, don't you?
Mhm.
Yep. Um, so they're not necessarily going to be especially well represented in the kind of art that you might have had access to in Silvering Moon, but it's
Mhm.
possible. You know,
Yeah.
it's like two or three. You know, the way you would know Underdark culture is primarily through Elven culture because although you were a gnome, you grew up in an Elven city. So, as a gnome, you would know basic things about gnome life, but these guys they're not exactly close to gnomes. So either path you take, whether it's through the gnomish understanding of the Underdark or through your elvish connections through the Drow, which would be a race in the Underdark, you're still 2 to 3 steps away. So you're going to have your proficiency bonus. I'll give you a +2 on that roll. Everybody else will
Okay.
have a standard history -2.
Oh, I get a 0 then.
I got a 25.
Okay, yeah. So you know what these are. You recognize them both ways. As a gnome, you have heard of some of the Underdark groups that occasionally trade with gnomes. These are called Duergar. They are related to dwarves. They're also colloquially named gray dwarves because of the pallor of their skin. They are they're known to be quite avaricious and quite cruel, and famously aggressive and interested in anything related to acquiring wealth, and also they're famous slavers to the point where they even will occasionally raid humanoid settlements that are close to the surface or just under the surface, such as a dwarven stronghold, if they can, and take slaves from there.
Damn.
And the drow paintings that you have seen sometimes depict Duergar as traders, but they've also depicted Duergars as slaves that the drow take. And there are also images where the Duergar attack the drow.
Okay, so they're not super friendly with the drow, from what the paintings could tell me.
Well, as your general background of Elven culture, which is a little bit better than the average, you would know that the drow aren't famously easy to get along with anyone. The drow are also big slavers, and they'll enslave anybody. So the idea that somebody would not get along with the drow is not surprising.
Yeah.
But apparently both of these groups routinely take slaves from all kinds of races.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna whisper to the party, be like, "Have your guard up. They like slaves. We don't want to be that." And Drugar, is that, how do you spell that?
Duergar. I
Ooh,
put
I
it in
was
the
so close.
chat. Duergar.
Drugar. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should probably talk to Beigebeard, unless we want to help settle Jojo, but I think they probably got it.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys are gonna collect Jojo.
Mm-hmm.
You collect Jojo. Do you do anything specifically, or just to settle Jojo down? The Duergar start complaining about all the damage, yelling at you and the other Duergar. The young one sort of points at Delin and says, "This is your fault." Of course, Delin doesn't necessarily understand, but she points at Delin and then points back at Duergar and makes it very obvious that she expects you to deal with this.
I'm just gonna
They want compensation.
throw my hands up and just pull my shoulders up, and I don't understand what she's saying.
She wants
Don't
you
translate.
to help.
No, don't translate.
Sorry.
Damn it. I'm playing
She
stupid.
yells at He yells at Sakina to translate. Tell her they want to be paid for the damages. You guys need to pay for this. I'm not paying for it. I don't even have any money.
So you remember how you hated having to bribe everybody
Mhm.
and pay everybody?
Yep.
We're back, baby.
Yep.
They want to be paid for the damages.
I am going to pull up. I have 3 gems that I collected from the hill giants. No idea what they are worth, and I'm just gonna take up 2 of them and just kind of give them to the guys.
Oh, right. Okay. Roll. Yeah. So let me check my notes. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So roll. You can roll the d6,
Mm-hmm.
and this will be the gem that you keep.
Okay.
And tell me which 2 numbers. Oh, well.
Mm.
And you don't know what the outcome is, so it doesn't really matter. So
No.
you tell me which 2 numbers.
Oh,
Is this the gem that you want to keep? Is this particular one?
yeah, sure.
Okay. They take the gems and they seem extremely excited.
Oh.
And then they push Jojo toward you and they immediately dash and run back inside their tents and disappear.
Okay.
I guess that was a good trade. Then.
Yeah. I guess maybe they just really like gems.
Mm. Well.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Anyways, to your uncle. Lead the way.
That was stupid.
Why?
I don't know that much about gems, but those gems look really good. And why did you keep this one?
I don't understand what she's saying.
And then she looks at Maddie and she looks at Satina and says, "Well, go on, do your talky bit."
Sorry. She said that those 2 gems looked really good, and she doesn't understand why you kept that one. But like, we don't know what kind of gems they are, so
Nope.
like,
I know what I had.
Oh,
Would you like to
got it.
buy Jojo? You can buy Jojo.
No,
Oh no.
we're good.
That gem has sentimental value.
Eh, and you all understand the body language.
Then I throw a thumbs up at Dallin.
Good.
Why do I have a red mark? What?
Because you took damage, didn't you?
No, I didn't take any damage.
It's from
then
last
that must be
session.
from before. Okay,
I
right.
thought I took it off though. Oh well.
Yeah. So the only one who has damage is still Cracker, right?
Yeah, me.
Yep.
No,
And you,
I
right?
I took it as a wrath. So when I took
As
back,
a Roth. Yeah.
Row.
Okay. So you guys make your way down. There is a little steep incline, but the Rotha seem to be able to manage it. They're actually fairly nimble on their feet despite their size. And as you move further into the cavern, you realize that this is a huge cavern. There are obviously loads of kiosks and stalls with merchants. There are people milling about. Some of them seem to be busy haggling with each other. Others seem to be sort of disinterestedly standing around looking at things or just even sleeping. There are tables where people are just eating because it's underground. It's kind of open air, and there is a little bit of a breeze that seems to be coming off of some waterway further back that you can't quite see, but you can definitely smell and sense. And the whole image is of this underground community that is thriving. I'm going to give you a little image there. So there's this The light in the background comes from bioluminescence along the ceiling, gives a lot of natural light, so it's kind of low light here. But inside the structures themselves, there's also lots of obvious candlelight and or fires for cooking, that kind of thing. The whole place smells of a mix of animals, humans, food, somewhat uncleanly waste, right? And also bits of, as I said earlier, water mixed in with flotsam and jetsam and algae and somewhat stale water that you might find on a pond rather than sort of a fast-moving river. Okay.
Okay.
Porridge leads you down to this penned-in area, which has a number of large posts. They seem to be constructed out of something similar to wood, but as you get closer, you realize they're very fibrous looking. They're very tall stalks. They're about 20 feet tall, and they seem to be relatively uniform in diameter, but they give off an earthy smell, almost like mushrooms.
Seems
And
interesting.
you meet Uncle Beigebeard, and he looks at all of you, and he says in Dwarven, "Where have you been? And where are the rest of them?" And he slaps Porridge across the face. Porridge immediately starts defending herself and pointing to Stinky and the rest of the party, and clearly making, shrugging motions in their shoulders and pointing accusations at Stinky, and then also pointing accusations at the rest of you. And Satina hears her, going on and on, but laying the blame at everybody else's feet except her own.
I'm gonna put my hands up and be like, oh, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. So I do want to apologize. There were some, those little like cave spider things that like come down, shoot webbing and stuff. They attacked us and they startled the herd. And a couple of them fell over the edge from what we were told. But we managed to get the rest of them here. So that's a good thing, right?
He looks at you and he says, "Well, I guess that's fine. It'll cost you to replace those animals. That's a third of my herd." And he points at the other half dozen that are penned in. And he sticks his hand out.
Would you like to go back and grab the carcasses? Would that make you feel better? Because
What
I mean,
am I going to do
honestly,
with carcasses?
I don't know. Use the meat or something. That way they don't go to waste. But you would have to go over the edge, of course.
Don't be ridiculous. I can't do that.
Well, I mean, it would be probably a better idea if your pasture were like fenced in. That way there wasn't a chance of them going over the edge.
Well, maybe
you
shouldn't
got
have been
some
trespassing in the first place, and you wouldn't have startled my herd. I've never once
Why
lost a Rotha in that area before, and this is the first time, and suddenly I lose all 6 because you all show up.
True. There's also no markings saying that it was your pasture, and we're from out of town. We really just stumbled in there. We apologize. But it was either that or go over the edge. You understand.
He looks at you and says, "Look, are you going to compensate me for my herd or not?" And you realize that this conversation, as carries on, gets louder and louder from his perspective. And you're starting to notice a bunch of the other folks nearby paying attention and looking. Quite a few of them are, curious. Some of them are actually putting down their whatever tools that they might have been using to do whatever they were doing. clearly everyone can hear you. The acoustics in the cavern, despite the gentle lapping of a little bit of water, are carrying very well throughout the entire structure.
How much are you looking for?
The standard price. That'll do.
Okay, we are from out of town. How about a gold per Rotha? Rotha.
And he
Sorry,
draws his
not my first
dagger.
language.
He draws
Whoa.
his dagger. Are you trying to insult me as well?
Hardly. No, like I said, we're from out of town. We don't have these beasts where we're from. So we don't know what the standard price is.
25 gold each.
So at this point, I'm sensing a little bit of stuff going on, even though I don't understand it. So I pull up to my full height, and I have my hand on my great axe, and I'm trying to do a bit of aiding with intimidation.
Okay.
Do we want to fight? Probably not.
No, just
Nope.
to show that we're not just total pushovers. Not that I want to start a fight. I'm not raging or anything, but I just want to give you a little bit of backup.
Okay, so as you do that, he shouts out in Dwarven, "The outsiders are trying to kill us and steal our Rotha."
Oh,
What?
damn it.
And all of the Duergar seem to move forward. There are other groups here that are represented. They don't get involved, but a lot of these folks here are Duergar, and some of them are coming out of the tents as well. Some of them are grabbing weapons. People are filing out of buildings that you don't actually see in detail. Folks are, somebody is starting to say something in Dwarven to another one. Should I sound the alarm?
No. What? Okay, I think this has gotten a little out of proportion. We're not trying to steal your Rotha. We have no use for a Rotha. So if you want to, put them away, we can come to an arrangement.
You can give me 30 now for each Rotha, or you can face the consequences.
Satina, do you need me to muscle in here, or do you want me to what's going on here?
So I'm
Cracker,
gonna
Cracker can roll perception to even notice anything, because maybe she doesn't even realize what's going on.
maybe
Yeah,
he just sounds
I'm like-
angry all the time.
Yeah, Cracker may not even realize
Oh
that
my
she's being
God.
surrounded by these
no!
tiny little
I don't
gray
know what the
guards.
hell's going on.
There's like dozens of these guys just piling up, but she's not looking in that direction. They're just like all behind her now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
but
I'm
I
gonna
did ask
turn
you to
them.
clarify, so hopefully.
Yeah, and be like, well, he wants 30 gold pieces for each Rotha. It was originally 25, but because he doesn't want to cooperate, he is not subtly threatening us. So we could either pay out or we can, do our thing. But that's if we want to fight.
How many are we talking about? How many Rotha?
6. So that's
So he lost 6? Podrick
yeah. I
said
thought they
that-
only lost a couple.
Yeah,
They only
2.
lost a couple.
Yeah, I thought Porridge said that they only lost a couple of them.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they lost half the herd. Oh, they should really install some fencing. I tried to, offer that idea, but he didn't seem about it. And it seems kind of weird that it'd be at the end, right where a cliff is. That just seems like poor planning to me. But
Sounds
he
like a
does not
cash
seem.
grab.
Yeah, he doesn't seem open to any sort of communication whatsoever.
So that's 180 gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
We do have that
Yeah, it's pretty steep.
in our party inventory.
Y'all just want to pay out, get this done with, and then if they try to make us slaves, we just kill them.
I don't think we should fight right now if we can avoid it.
I mean, fair. Yeah. I'd rather not.
Well, I'm ready to go whenever you are.
All right. Y'all just want
And
to pay
by
him out?
go,
Yeah, we
I
do
mean,
need
go.
information if we are going to.
Yeah, we really
Right.
need to learn about this black mold.
Yeah.
Cracker's like, this guy is so short. I don't, I could just kickball this guy into the next
Yeah,
century.
just punt
Yeah, exactly what I'm thinking. I mean, who
All
else
right,
is out
let's
here?
just
I don't
let's
see
just
anybody.
pay him
completely
out,
unaware
and
that
then
there's like, a half a dozen standing right behind her now,
that way,
I can
hopefully,
take
we
this
can get some
guy.
information.
All right.
I'm sure, Cracker. I'm sure you could. I'm sure you. And she's like patting her arm. She's like, I'm sure you could take him, but I want you to turn around real quick, just real subtly.
Oh. So I take my
Yeah.
hand off the.
Yeah,
I just sort of
I
stand
love the
down.
enthusiasm.
Stand down. Put my hands out. Like, come on, guys, just chill out.
All right,
And you hear some
let's-
muttering amongst some of them in Dwarven. That one's very strong. She'll fetch a good price on the market.
Oh, fuck me. Okay.
I'm not understanding that.
You know what?
But I'm
Don't worry
starting to
about
feel uncomfortable.
But you definitely feel uncomfortable. You've been around. As a barmaid, you've been around enough
Yeah.
people
And as a
who have
half-orc.
looked at you, and you can tell that they're looking at you not quite in a sexual way necessarily, but they're definitely appraising your flesh.
I'm not enjoying this attention at all.
it. Yeah. So I'm gonna turn to Beigebeard and be like, all right, yeah, we'll pay you out. That's fine. It was 180. And I'm gonna hand over the coin.
And he counts it. Surface coins. Interesting.
Like I said, we're not from around here.
Fine. And he puts
What's
them
the
away.
exchange rate?
Don't.
Yeah, don't encourage.
Please.
Can he speak common? That would really suck, him listening to our entire conversation. Just debating if we're going to kill him or not.
Well, I mean, if he does, he's not letting on because he's a savvy trader, right? So why would he give that
True.
information away?
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. So yeah, 180.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and take it out.
Take it out. And just make a notation as well so we know why it went down 180.
Okay, we'll do.
Yeah. It's also a good party record. And he collects the coins. He puts them in a very large sack that he then double knots and then puts into another sack. And he disappears behind the barricade through what appears to be a doorway briefly, and then he comes back out. At which point, he also takes the rope that Stinky is tied to and brings Stinky into this pen, and Stinky is tied up. And Stinky looks at you and sort of almost mouths with his fishy mouth like a little silent plea as he sticks out two webbed hands.
Oh, now I feel bad.
And as he does so, Delin, can you give me a wisdom saving throw?
Okay. Luckily, I get advantage of all wisdom saving throws. Oh, 14.
Okay. All right. You have a brief image of what appears to be an underground village full of people that looks like him. And it has a water's edge to it. And there's all kinds of fishy type people. They're very different from each other, but they all share a basic racial commonality. And you get a sense of longing.
Oh.
And then because you saved, the connection is broken. Beigebeard says, Beigebeard then grabs Porridge by her hair and yanks her very sharply and says, He's whispering, but he's saying it loud enough that Satina can hear and understand. You can all sort of hear like a little bit of grumbling, but Satina is close enough to understand it. Now, I don't really know the truth of what happened. I suspect you're partly responsible because, well, I know what you're like. Don't worry, I'll tan the hide off of you later. Now, what else do you people want? If you want to spend coin, you can do so freely. No violence is allowed, and no cheating. Now, if you want to buy any slaves, the slave market is over there. And he points a finger in this direction. And there are other sellers of goods in this direction. And of course, we have the restaurant and tavern just up ahead on the hill. And he points up here. You can also rent some boats if you want, or take one of the other tunnels out. I'd be careful of talking to the other groups. Some of them are not as friendly as I am.
Actually, if I could bend your ear for a second, was wondering if you knew anything about the spread of the black mold down here, because it's becoming quite a problem up on the surface, and I wasn't sure how it's reaching down here.
The black mold. Yes. I've had some problems out there. I know that there are some other folks who have been unable to graze their rotha and their traditional mushroom patches because of it. Seems to be affecting the areas further north and east.
Does it have any effect on the wildlife down here?
The rotha go crazy, but it depends on each individual animal. The humanoids have various responses, shall we say. In a
Like
couple of
hostile
cases,
responses?
well, it's not always hostile. It depends on where they started from. Seems to change their behavior very often in the opposite direction. People who are nice tend to get meaner. People who are mean tend to get nicer. One Duergar I know got sick from eating some tainted rotha meat and came back to the village. And the next thing you know, he started giving away all his possessions, the fool. Although I did manage to get myself a nice new kettle set. That was a good day.
Yeah, who doesn't love a good kettle set?
Right? Yeah, exactly. And he starts rummaging around inside one of his other sacks, and he starts to bring it out, and he starts boring you to death with the details of this kettle that he's so proud of. It's iron, and it's covered in years and years of grease and lard because it's never been scrubbed. Now, this thing tastes delicious when you fry some rotha bacon on it. It's unbelievable. You couldn't possibly understand. You've got to try it. They do a good one over there at the restaurant, even though they're not Duergar.
Oh, they're not Duergar? I thought this was like a majority Duergar camp.
Well,
we'll
yes,
have to
it
check it
is,
out.
but you know, sometimes you want to try something different, don't you?
True, very true.
There's only
Yeah,
so
we'll
many
have to
things
check
you can
that
do
out.
with mushrooms and rota.
That's fair. Let's see. Guys, did you have any questions? I asked him about some black mold. I'll tell you guys that in a second. But anything I should ask?
If he knows the way
I don't.
to
Yeah. I
Oh,
won't stick
yeah.
around.
Mushroom City.
So he'll
Uh,
respond after you do the translation. Sorry,
Mhm.
just to save a little
Fair.
time. He'll respond, I don't know what Aramikos is. I've never heard of it. But the main mushroom forests are further north. And if you're looking for more mushrooms or mushroom people, you would definitely want to go there. I would also check out the Slaver. I think he actually has one of these talking mushrooms in his current inventory. You might even get a good deal. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll check it out. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, guys. He said to check out the slaver. He thinks that he might have a mushroom person there, or might have some information on it.
Okay.
So how are we guys doing on time? Do you guys want to continue a little longer, or we can stop here? It's up to you.
I'm
I don't
okay to
mind.
go a little longer.
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah?
me too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because this is kind of a nice little place to explore a little bit, and there's plenty to do. So,
Hmm.
all right. Yeah. So where do you guys want to go next?
To the slaver. As we go, I just want to kind of whisper to Satina and Cracker that I kind of really want to try and free all these slaves.
I think that's going to be difficult.
I know.
How do you
Me
want to do it?
too.
Is there a? You can see if there's some kind of water source that everybody drinks from. And we do have
Mhm.
some mold, and if it makes bad people nice, they might free the slaves.
True.
It's a great
Mm.
idea.
Maybe if they have like a pot of like food going, we can see.
Yeah.
So I mean, right now we're just kind of wandering. So we can make sure to look around, see if there's a way that we can taint their source.
At least all the slavers.
And I know,
Yeah.
and I know that Stinky wants to go home. Kind of sent me something in my head, and he really wants to go home. And I feel sorry for
It
him.
was in your head.
It was
Do you
in
think
my
his name
head.
is actually Stinky?
I don't think so.
Oh, it seems like a pretty rude name.
Yeah. We could also
Oh.
kind of make havoc with kind of releasing the Rotha. But I think that
We
we
could do
need
that,
to kind of finish up before we set that in motion.
Yeah, probably get all the information that we need, and then, I mean,
Do as
also
we do.
I wouldn't be opposed. I'm not big on big beard on the guy over there.
Mhm.
I don't want to say his name. So if he just happens to get trampled, that sucks.
Kinda,
He was old anyway. He was going to die.
Yeah,
yeah.
he was old.
Yeah.
What was it she
Oh.
said that time? Yeah, I think she literally said that, right?
Yeah, it was in the middle of your monologue, and I went, "Wow, he's old."
Yeah.
I thought because it had been so long that like you would have just forgotten about it. No, I'm never living
No.
it down.
Memory like an elephant until I get dementia.
Okay, so the mushroom forest, you said mushroom forest.
Yes.
Mushroom forests are to the north. Okay, all right, let's go see the slaver.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, Porridge is no longer going to travel with you. Oh, I took this orc slate with them by accident. So it's the three of you. You're going to travel down here. You pass by lots of interesting little things, knickknacks on tables. There's, bustling commerce, that kind of thing. And you get to the slaver. One of the first things you notice is that there is a very large, oddly shaped. It looks like a skull, but it's actually in the shape of an octopus, and it's
Interesting.
actually stuck on a pike.
Well, that's neat.
And this fellow comes out. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Flayed Mind Flayer. Anything you need in the way of slaves, I've got it. And if I don't have it, well, we send out parties all the time. Just put in your order and, well, we'll see what we can do. Got
Awesome.
a special on a couple of surface races. Got a human back there, a goblin, and I think we've got another orc or something.
What kind of food is this? Is it a human or is it?
So you look, if you want to look over the inventory, he'll let you go past.
I
But
was
he
talking
does.
about him. What kind of race?
Oh, the guy you're looking.
Yeah.
Well, it's
know?
an interesting one. Can you can roll, what would you think that would be if you were trying to, you can see him clearly, but you may not be able to recognize what he is. Let's put it that way.
Might be history or something.
Yeah, I'll take history.
Oh, sorry. Shouldn't be advantage, but 19.
Okay. You think he might be a half ogre.
Ah.
Half ogre. He's actually very, very large. He's about 7.5 feet tall. He looks like he could easily outweigh Cracker by quite a lot. And
Big
he's
dude.
got a giant bullwhip that he routinely cracks, almost like a nervous tick, while he's talking.
And he's speaking what language right now?
He is actually speaking Common.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, he heard the goings on over there, and he also could make out some of the words that you guys were saying to each other about talking about killing everybody.
Oh, well.
Great.
Minor details.
I thought
but
we
he
were
does-
we're
he-
speaking
he
so
doesn't look-
quietly.
He doesn't look the least bit bothered by it. Well, he heard individual words. Maybe he didn't hear the whole conversation. You have to understand when it looked like it was about ready to kick off. Like if you've ever been in the middle of something that was about to riot, it gets
Mhm.
it gets a little bit. There's a little buzz, but it's actually kind of quiet, right?
Yeah.
Like the tension.
Oh boy.
Do you mind if we take a look at your inventory?
Sure. Yeah, take a look.
Perfect. Thank you. Do they?
negotiable if you do a package deal.
Okay. And they speak, right? We can talk to them.
I mean, you can try.
Okay. Good enough for me.
Okay, so you guys walk on back. They're all individually chained to these metal rings that are obviously connected into the floor and the walls. So they've got chains around at least one ankle and at least one wrist in each case. Some of the more dangerous looking ones, like the orc, are very heavily chained. The first one is a human being who is basically completely naked.
Okay.
He's very muscular. He looks like he's in very good shape, and he also looks like he might even be quite athletic. The second one is what you would recognize as a goblin, and she seems to be in very poor shape. The third one is an orc, very, very muscular. He looks really, really angry, and he sneers and he tries to pull at his chains as you get closer. And the last one is definitely some kind of a walking awakened mushroom. He looks really old. He's got a bit of black mold on him as well. And he smells a bit like not only just a mushroom, but a mushroom that's a bit overripe, right?
Okay. I'm gonna walk up to the mushroom man. Mushroom dance. Be like, hello.
Be careful of that one. He likes to spit out spores and poison people.
Gross. Do you, by chance, know a portabella?
It doesn't seem to acknowledge your presence. It's not really looking at you. It's kind of just slumped against the wall. It looks not only like it's moldy, but it also looks dried out.
I think this one. I don't think he's doing great. Do you have some water? I'm asking the slaver.
Water's wasted on him. Besides, just makes him spew more spores.
How much?
If he dies, he dies.
How much is this for the slaves? How much do you take for them?
For just that one?
For any of them.
Well, each one's different, right? There are
Yeah.
different conditions. They're worth more or
Sure.
less. Let's see. For the big fella over there, and he points at the orc.
Mhm.
He's pretty strong, but you're gonna have to retain a firm hand on him.
Mhm.
And he bites.
Oh.
I'll let him go for 100 gold pieces.
Okay.
For the goblin girl, she's actually pretty good at cleaning, but you have to sort of give her the whip every couple of days, otherwise she sort of forgets herself. And she does tend to pilfer things. You can have her for 45. And this one, this one's a prize. I got him in a raid. Not my raid, but apparently one of my cousins managed to pick up a bunch of folks near Luskin, all the way up in the north. Don't know if you know what that is. It's a city with a bunch of orcs and half-orcs in it. Actually, it's where we got this orc fella as well, but he was outside of Luskin. He was trying to raid somebody. This guy, can you believe it? He's some sort of a male entertainer or something. He makes money dancing. Disgusting creature. And he kicks some dirt in the general direction of that one. And the human looks at you, and he's hearing all this, and he says, "You speak common?" He's very nervous. "My name's Jake. I'm known professionally as Jake the Snake. I was dancing up in Luskin for Madame Susie, and I don't know how I ended up down here. You've got to get me out of here, please. I'll do anything for you." I'll do anything for you. I promise anything.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Well, that sounds fun.
How much for that one?
Well, he's really quite entertaining, and apparently he's got a lot of stamina. One of the slavers that caught him was, let's just say he's got an eye for both sides, if you know what I mean. And he looked worn out by the time we got a hold of him. He's 250. He dances, and he also performs, if you know what I mean.
Okay. And the old mushroom guy?
I had such high hopes for this one. It's not often we get one of their kind in here. But he hasn't taken well, let's just put it that way. And nobody seems to need a talking mushroom. The only interest I had was from the restaurant over there up on the hill, and they're just waiting for him to die first, because, I don't know. They said they'd be willing to take him and cut him up alive, but I'm hoping, I'm holding out hope that somebody's actually going to buy him for livestock. Seems to be a shame to waste it. I'll let you have him for 10 gold.
And there was some mention of doing, like, if you were to get multiple, that there was some sort of
Discount?
arrangement for that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm always open to a package deal. What have you got in mind?
What do you think, guys?
So,
I don't know, you're the ones with the money. I feel bad saying anything, but I hate that they're slaves.
yeah. Just let me think a little bit. I'm gonna create a mind link with the orc.
Okay.
And
The orc immediately starts shaking his head, and then, you look like he's trying to resist you, but there's really nothing to resist. So,
and since we don't have to speak the same language, he's going to understand me anyway.
Sure. Yep, absolutely.
And I'm just gonna say to him that if we buy you and we intend to set you free, we don't want to have slaves, but will you don't cause any trouble before we set you free?
He will immediately agree.
You promise?
He promises.
Okay. I'm gonna do the same with the goblin girl.
Of course, you don't know if he's going to keep his promise.
No,
but
then I told him that we are intending to set him free. So
yeah.
if he tries
absolutely.
anything and gets killed, it's not on us. So,
Yeah.
And I'm
Sure.
gonna do the same with the goblin girl and the mushroom guy and the human guy, just to kind of tell them our plan, to buy them free and then set them free when we get out of here.
Okay. So one of the things that'll happen is as you connect with the mushroom guy,
hmm
he suddenly lifts his cap, as in his head, and he looks at you for the first time,
hmm
and he spits out a cloud of scintillating dust, and you're all caught in it. Immediately, the slaver backs away. I told you, fucking bastard. And you are all immediately engulfed in this cloud of vapor, as well as some of the other prisoners. Can everyone give me a Constitution saving throw?
Fire.
12.
19.
12, 19.
Uh-oh. Oh, sorry. It came up with, I have Character Mancer just sort of popped up.
It's
I don't
okay.
know what to do.
You can roll a
Okay.
d20. You can
I'm
just
rolling a
say no to
D20.
character. Say no to character master, but you can also roll a d20.
It's saying, how do you want to create this character? I don't get a no. So it's gonna reload, but I've rolled my D20.
Okay.
And
What'd
I
you
got
get?
an 8.
Okay. So yeah, it's Constitution. So you probably have +4. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think I
+3 or
do.
+4.
Yeah.
Okay. So the two of you will fail your saves. Satina will
Oh.
make hers, and as you do, you are connected through an equivalent version of a mind link, and it's very alien because he is not at all humanoid in the traditional sense. But you now share emotions, and he sends you a flood of images of this gigantic cavern underground with this entire forest of different kinds of mushrooms of various sizes, shapes, persuasions, colors. It's beautiful. It glows, it pulses, and in the background, you sense this incredible mind communication that speaks as one voice, but in constant echoes of each other, as if different parts are catching up at different speeds. And he has this incredible desire to return to it. He also senses your motivation and enthusiastically agrees to help you if you will set him free. He says that he only wants to return back to his homeland before he dies, which he thinks is going to be soon.
When I do these mind links, I'm going to kind of look like I'm inspecting them, kind of looking them
Okay.
up and down, kind of.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to turn to the slaver and just say, okay, I can make you a deal for 350 gold for all 4.
350 gold. Yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
Do you need any help? I can have one of the hands over there help you get to whatever vessel you're using, or get you on the road at least for a couple of miles and make sure they don't rebel against you. You look like you're slightly outnumbered there. Although I don't think the mushroom guy or the girl's going to give you much trouble. Actually, to be honest, I don't even think this human's going to give you that much trouble. It's really the orc you got to watch out for.
I think we're going to be okay. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Pretty brave. All right. Good luck, ladies. And thanks for your business. By the way, if you're ever looking for anything else, I think we're going to have a special on some elves soon. I hear they're coming in pretty nice this season.
Mm.
And he rubs his hands.
Man.
Okay. I'm going to take away 350 gold from my personal inventory.
Okay.
You
Saving the world one slave at a
Yeah.
time.
I think they're kind of heading for a good alignment, or at least neutral, doing this.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We'll see what happens. I mean, you haven't set them free yet. So
Nope.
far, they're still your property.
The intention is good.
Yeah.
The intention's good, but you haven't kept your word yet. So who knows, right? I mean, it
Oh,
could all
the road to
could all have
hell.
just been a good fake out.
I'm not done yet.
I intended to free you, but unfortunately, the economy being what it is, we really need you to sort of stay on for a while and just help out, at least until things stabilize, and I promise you, just another sort of 6 months to a year, and you'll definitely be set free at that point.
Just like real life.
Yeah. Okay. We need to get them out, but we also need to talk to some other people. Kind of just getting away from the slaver, and we are constantly connected to the mushroom guy, right? Or
The two of you
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
think so.
okay.
Satina, of course, doesn't know what happened. She only knows that she managed to resist something.
hmm
Unless, of course, you want to describe it to her. In which
I
case,
do, but
just as a
away from this guy.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, just as a reminder, you can, in certain circumstances, if it is allowed, which is to say, the spell says you can choose, or the DM says you can choose because it's a situation where that is allowed. You can choose to fail a saving throw if you want.
Mm.
Not all the time. Certain spells actually, even if you want to, don't allow you to deliberately fail it. But it'll say so if you can fail something like a spell effect. It'll specifically say so in the spell description.
So we're
Okay.
gonna get out of there and kind of explain to Satina what the spores did, and maybe she can try to not resist next time if he does it again. You can ask him to do it again to only her.
Yes, he will try again, but it'll take a couple of hours.
Okay,
We got time.
you got time.
Speaking of time, there's a lot more to do. So I think at this stage, perhaps we should call it, and then you're going to be here anyway next week, right, Henrietta?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. And obviously Laura will be back. I don't know that we'll necessarily have the other player up and running just yet, either of the other players, or any of the other players up and running just yet. But it's possible that the German lady might be ready by then because she is genuinely quite keen. In which case, this would be a great place to introduce her because obviously lots of different people congregate in this place. And I expect we should be able to start on time because some of the stuff I had to do today wasn't specifically for this session, but it was pre-planned for the next couple of steps, just in case you guys took a left turn or a right turn that it was a little bit unexpected. You haven't gone through everything necessarily, so if you're a bit completionist, we have plenty of stuff that's already prepared, so we shouldn't have any problems being on time. And I apologize again for being late today.
Ain't nothing. Meant that I got to get coffee.
Yeah. Now, hopefully, I can get some sleep because my body is not used to caffeine, and I had 2 strong cups. I'm like, I was really tired before the game started, and now I'm like literally bouncing off my chair. So, but it was a great session. So, thank you very much
it was
for
a lot
all
of fun.
that.
Thank you. It was
All
great.
right.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Terrific.
We have some slaves.
Yeah,
we got
We have slaves. Hang on. We're slavers. We're slavers. Oh yeah.
Alignment not yet changed.
Maybe,
Alignment
do you
change
think
pending.
you think there's a chance that we could buy Stinky
Yeah,
from?
thinking
Beige
about
Beard?
it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
let's try that next week.
Beige Beard is definitely a commercial guy, so
Yeah.
Mhm.
and Stinky does cause problems.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can just kind of,
apparently he never does his job right.
since we already
Let's
bought
take
some.
him off his hands.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just say
Mhm.
that we need them for an adventure to help protect us or something. Help us fight.
Yeah.
or-
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're forming a posse.
Absolutely.
hmm We're gonna
That's
have
the
a really big group.
Yeah.
Jesus. You do realize you can't possibly have enough gold to buy all the slaves in the Underdark. There are literally
I know.
hundreds of thousands of slaves
We can
across all
try.
most of the races keep slaves.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, some of them we don't have to buy.
And this is kind of my
We just
first
need to get rid of the
encounter with
slaver.
slaves. So can't kind of think that's why I wanted to buy them, because this is Dalian's first encounter with real slaves, seeing them chained up and kind of beaten, and so I think that's why she wanted to free them.
That makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, it makes total sense. And why wouldn't you feel bad, right? I mean, Kalashtars are somewhat, they're not exactly empathic. They're more telepathic. But the fact that you are telepathic means that you are somewhat more susceptible to, conceptually at least, the pleas and the pain and suffering of others, because you have to be able to understand it in a deep way that isn't just expressed via verbal communication. So over the course of the next sort of 20 minutes to an hour, as you do like your general introductions, you learn their names. Obviously, this one is Jake. He goes by Jake the Snake.
You gave him a cloak or something. Where?
Yeah, and as you look him over, you realize you understand why he's called Jake the Snake.
Oh, okay.
Put on some clothes.
Have some
It's just
modesty,
like-
jeez.
It just kind of like bumps into things everywhere, like
Oh god.
he
Knocking
touches
over
a
my
table.
coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Literally knocking over cups of coffee as he's walking.
Oh
past
my
tables.
lord.
The goblin girl is called Risha. The orc is known as Gersh, and he's of the Toothbreaker clan. And the Myconid, he calls himself a Myconid. They call themselves the Mushroom People. His name is Sponge.
Sponge.
Nice.
SquarePants.
I will neither confirm nor deny that there was some inspiration involved in that name.
First long rest we get, I'm gonna sew in some SquarePants. So
I love
Jake
it.
will immediately look at the length of the pants and say, "Nope, that's not long enough."
Oh man.
Oh, this guy.
Oh, this guy.
All right. Well, thanks very much again, and I shall see you guys next Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you then. Have a
Sounds
good day,
good.
guys.
Okay.
too.
Take care. Bye.
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 Thanks. Bye.